and contest against Crazy. The challenge will be on that T side. Let's go here. It is going to be our pistol round. Of course, our odds as well from LootBet as well. Of course, for those of you who might not be aware by this stage, you can get yourself 10 free CSGO spins and up to 100 euros bonus on your deposit by clicking the banner under the Twitch channel. Maybe you could place a bet here on Crazy. In fairness, 1.6 actually seems pretty good for this team. I'd take those odds.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'd certainly take them odds. Those odds are pretty good for the Crazy side. And, well, starting things up on CT Fate, they need to be able to get a good start. It may just come off the back of this pistol round. A little bit of utility up for the vent dive to come in for the T side, but they're actually not going to go for it. Bit of presence out towards ramp, at least going to try and force the CTs back, but there's actually a triple man set up here from ramp, but unfortunately they're not really going to fire much as the vent dive ends up coming through. Oh my goodness, Patrick gets destroyed.
Played the patient game. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work for him. They were ready for that one. The 5-on-4 situation. His first blood is drawn by Psycho. He's ready for the second blood as well. Taking out Blocker for his head. And sprayed across the vents area. 5-on-3 now. Favor to Crazy. T-side players just holding off against them as Fate push in. Just can't seem to get a handle on the bomb site. USP out for Han. Gets one kill on DemQ, but Nicky's going to fall just before him, and Tensei will find that final frag. So nice and easy there for Crazy. Like, what a way to start things off.
That's really interesting. So they go for the fake vent dive early in the round. They show ramp control with a little bit of utility, and then they go back into the vent dive, and for Fate, they ended up putting a triple man setup out from that ramp position. So they're actually set up really well to deal with the ramp control, but it didn't come out at all. Crazy go fast into the vent dive. They get some very nice opening kills, and the retake, it's just not possible for the Bulgarians. They will go into round number 2 with a bit of a force buy. So at least an opportunity to bounce back after losing the opening round. But you got to think for Crazy, they are certainly favorites in this second round. Some AKs across the border, a single AK, a couple of Galils, and some SMGs. They're looking to make bank, Jay.
Yes, indeed they are. Sergius and Psycho just trying to aggress forward. Against the likes of Blocker as well. Well, you got some Gs in play, and it's a lot more passive from Fate than it is from Crazy, although it is still pretty passive from the Crazy line. Some utility down here towards the A bomb site. Molotovs and smokes in. Looks like they are going to commit. This is what it looks like. The counter volley back here from the Marshmallow position as Nicky takes face, takes out DemQ for one good pick back on Psycho. SMG picks up Nicky. Blocker and Han do come up with 2 good picks back, but Sergius responds to a 3-on-2. Look at the HP for Crazy though. Toxic surely can't win out this fight. Sergius most certainly will not. Man, now Toxic does get Han at least, but now 2 more players to find. It seems like Fate are going to be able to find the all-important force buy. And Toxic are going to get rid of that rifle to ensure that they can't even get their hands on it. May even look for one of the AKs instead and try to get rid of that here, but times are ticking. He's got 2 more players to fight. Again, 13 HP to win these 2 1v1s. That is assuming he can isolate those 1v1s. Peeking up top of the hut area. Scout jump facing for Patrick. He's being heard here. Headshot can't quite get connected. The bomb will get picked up and he drops straight into the B bomb site. He'll secure a bomb plant from here. The question is, can he go any further afterwards?
Is he going to get a bomb plant?
He won't.
Oh, no, he won't. That's good chase coming out there from the Fate side, and I mean, at least there was an attempt at getting that bomb plant to that lower bomb site, and well, for Fate, they read it so well. They hear those footsteps, they go straight into the lower bomb site. I mean, that's a great response. That's them picking up that secondary round. It's going to force Crazy on what you would think is going to be a force buy, considering it's double eco status. That bomb plant, if they would have got it in the last round, then maybe they just would have glocked it out and got the rifles up in the next, but no, bomb plan does not give them that extra cash injection. Wow, they've got an AWP out. Look how quickly that is.
Smokes down very quickly out from DemQ with the bomb straight downstairs alongside Psycho. SMG going to try to chase him here for Nicky, but he's going to siphon off the backup here from the actual bomb site. Eagle facing in from Psycho, burst in. Toxic going to get 2 picks. DemQ finds Blocker, and suddenly the eco has gone all right.
You're kidding. What? Those kills were so quickly, we didn't even see them. That's how fast they were.
Grease lightning up in here, I swear.
Man. And you have to think they've got to save. They're out of there. Wow. What a response from Crazy. These vent dives seem like a very difficult task for Fate to deal with them. They, I mean, just...
let's think about it, right? Crazy snuck past them on the force by which they lost in the last round.
Yep.
There was obviously the pistol dive, which they just couldn't get into the B-bomb site. And then there's this round where the pistols on force managed to basically do the exact same thing, except Fate think better of it and fall back, save their weapons. So yeah, I guess you're on the right foot with that one, but surely at some point there must have come a point where it's like, okay, we know what you're gonna do. We're gonna put players in Marshmallow and Vent to shut you down. Like, you know, when do Fate come up with the plan to stop Crazy from doing that again?
I don't think you can. I mean, unfortunately with vent dives, the thing is you don't really want to put too much attention towards it because, well, a vent dive is something that a team may only do 3-4 times on the T side on Nuke. It's not a common strategy, so you've got to think for Fate. They've got to be looking elsewhere on the map to try and shut it down rather than putting too much attention to that vent dive position. And you look at the buy from Crazy this time around, it is proper strong.
And the FAMASas just won't cut it here for Blocker, neither for Patrick here with his SMG. Tech 9 for Nicky and the AK AWP that was saved in from the last round on Ships and Han as the only 3 players left now. With 5 of Crazy, they are looking to take control, easy control at that. And Smokes will go down towards main to at least cover off some of the vision here. They know that AWP is kicking around somewhere, most likely towards outside. Maybe right to assume that Han almost lined up the collateral. Flick overcooked a bit too much there, so 8 HP. He gets away alive, but most certainly living on the edge of death. And Psycho takes 2 deaths over on the A-bomb site, and Han is left to save.
And I think this is really kind of what we can expect from Fate across this CT half is just, you know, struggles. And even finding opening picks, nothing in this round. Yes, Han's able to find a pick once the bombs already go down, but 1 versus 5, you know, even trying to save onto this orb is going to be a bit of a difficult task. Good shot coming out to Demcube, but again, not going to be able to hold on to it. No money up for the Fate side. Now, they will get 2,400 in the next round, so just saving on to all these USPs and not upgrading anything will at least allow a buy into the next. But Crazy, this is a good start on the T side.
Well, at the very least, they're not going for Vent Dive over and over again. You know, first 3 rounds they did
Can
go
you
for
imagine?
it, and then by 4th, here's the thing: if they made that work in the rifle rounds, like that would just set the tone for the rest of the game. I feel like.
Yeah.
But they did actually vary it up. You know, they went towards default, they went towards outside, they went inside lobby, and they went for an ace execution as well. Much more varied and spread out there, getting the kills and then getting the round off the back of that. But you know, Fate unable to deal with that strategy either. And then Eco's got to come through from the CT. A small tech pause as we do have a disconnection from, I believe, Nicky over on the CT side. So, you know, Fate having a couple of tech problems over the course of the day. Hopefully they can get those fixed relatively quickly. We can get back into round 5. Won't be missing much, though. It will be an Eco round from Fate.
And honestly, going into the gun round, I'd like Fate to maybe see if they can get aggressive, see if they can get up close and personal, see if you can make some presence aggressive outside, or whether it's, you know, trying to see if you can just slow walk in from hut or trying to take some control. Because one thing that especially happens a lot for teams that don't play Nuke is that your opposition can just kind of fake you out so easily. Because Nuke is one of these maps where the rotations between the upper and lower bomb site are so slow that if you can force rotations out, it makes it so difficult for the city side to regain a hold. And one thing we've seen in particular from Crazy, even though we've only seen 5 rounds of Counter-Strike so far on Nuke, is adaptability. We've seen the vent dives coming out, we've seen the defaults outside, control out towards ramp room, and I certainly feel as if on the T side from Crazy, we won't see the same thing over and over again. So for Fate, at least knowing their playstyle and knowing they don't play this map, aggression might be their only success in finding rounds.
I can think of some players being pushed out towards the outside area, you know, just up to the silo boosting the boxes that are out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, I could see that working out for them. I think aggression anywhere else, though, is going to be a bit of a hard graph. Like, obviously, you can't push forward from Squeaky. You possibly could push forward from the hut area with good timing, but that requires good timing, you know. And, you know, you only see it from the most confident of CT sides or just, you know, occasionally getting lucky with it. And for Fate, I mean, maybe they could, you know, gamble stacking towards a ramp push or gamble stack towards outside with 4-5 players there. I mean, they haven't got many options because it is an eco round. Flashbang from Han might set them up here, and they're going to go towards a Heaven defensive on the A-bomb site. Potentially a retake for the T's. very quickly out towards main into the vent dive. They're looking at splitting towards B on the crazy camp, so they're just playing perfectly away from what Fate are doing.
The only way that round works is if there's outside presence, and well, Crazy they go for the vent dive and they go ramp. Yeah, there's none. There's absolutely none. That's one thing that can happen with gamble stacks is, you know, you try something. If it doesn't work, then the round's over. If it does work, then maybe you get a couple of kills. But a bomb plant to the lower bomb site. The last thing they want to do is run into this MAC-10.
Yeah, don't give him the money. Well, he's a forward player, and he's seen everything. He's found one pick. The AWP will be there to back him up. Sensei, taking quite a bit of damage. Having a blocker as well. DemQ also low, but in the end, it's Psycho and Sensei that clean things up. Nice MAC-10 kills, 2 Ks to the rifle players. And 4 to the board of Crazy. And the buy-up coming in for Fate now, the first rifle round of the CT side.
And get hard on the AWP. I love it. Really like the intent. He's, you know, a very solid player. He's very consistent when he wants to be. And for Han, you know, this is his opportunity. They're in a map they don't really play. Let's see what he's able to find with the AWP. Actually going to go to the upper bomb side. A lot of the time, you'll see that orb out towards the outside position or maybe out towards ramp. But this is a very aggressive stance with the AWP.
Expecting T-side players to rush out, go for another vent dive, so I guess they're accounting for that much here, but they will start to progress through this hut position, and it looks like it's going to time this pretty well. They've gone towards outside control, so there may be some information gain for the CT camp, and a very tight angle being held against Psycho. He's got to wait for him to cross back to the lobby entrance, or he's got to swing out towards the ramp entrance. The trophy room area where Psycho could get spotted. He's taking a fight against one that he will take damage for. The AWP will be allowed to swing in as a result of it. He's expecting DemQ. Did he see a shoulder bait? I think they're trying to bait out that orb. I think they know it's there. Oh, there it is. Perfect from Psycho. They knew what they were playing at.
That's so smart. Getting rid of that AWP and trying to force him back into more passive positions. Nicky's now going to look for a little bit of information outside. Now, there is one player... Nicky? Oh, my goodness. Toxic almost whiffed that spray completely. But Patrick has at least been able to turn it back into a 4-on-4.
Sergen's going to drop that bomb, so 2 kills for Patrick to turn it into a man advantage, but not lasting long. Sensei with the AWP picks that man apart. We stand at evens once again, but Han still with the AWP on the Fate camp. 30 seconds left. He's scoped in, expected them to make their way. Toxic's gone downstairs,
He's gonna wrap Heaven.
though. He's going to wrap Heaven, going to split in, catch off the 2 CTs. They've only got 20 seconds for this, though, so I'm not even sure he's got time to creep around this far. He's got to go fast, and so have Psycho and Sensei. Trying to bait in the AWP. He's not looking the right way. He's seen good quick scope in. Oh, my God! He gets the wall back collateral through the headshot. A second player. Oh, my goodness. Han, the hero of the round.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that. And that even took me a little while to recognize what just happened there. Both those players, man. Let's have a look again.
Watch carefully, because he has to get the headshot to get it through the wall.
That's insane, man. Oh my goodness. I've never seen that. Absolutely never seen that before.
That is beautiful. Because I'm pretty sure if it had gone through the wall, it would have tagged the player behind him. But incredible, incredible from Fate's AWP, but not so incredible from their start. Patrick first casualty. Blocker's going to try to defend here on the B bomb site. He will get overwhelmed. The bomb plant can be secured. Crazy have a man advantage.
And you've got to think now, 2-on-4, it's got to be the save attempt from Fate. Han is just losing so much damage. The double Molotovs coming out from ramp, and what a response coming out from Crazy. Man, oh man. Do they love the vent dive? They absolutely love it. And, well,
it's
for
a good
Fate,
fallback, to be fair.
It is. It is a fantastic fallback. It's something that's been successful time and time again.
Han will get some exit frags at least on the exit to the round, but he's got to try and keep his AWP in play. And that's what he'll do here. You get 5 on the board for Crazy, and if only Fate could capitalize on such a great recovery of that round. Yeah, 3 rounds to the lead for Crazy. A tactical pause coming in for Fate right now. They kind of need it. I mean, they have had a bit of a weird start on the CT side, so need to get something going eventually because this is the favored half of this map.
Yeah, it is. And really, I think you got to look for your AWP. I mean, yeah, I suppose you can say, you know, that was a pretty lucky shot coming out from Hahn to line up 2 kills like that. But the fact of the matter is he's consistent. You know, he's finding kills. He's leading the team in terms of kills on the scoreboard, 7 and 5 at the moment. You've got to be looking at him. And I certainly think maybe some adaptability needs to come out from Hahn. Try and see if they can move that AWP around. You've seen him play aggressively out towards Hut. Let's get him outside. Let's get him out at ramp. Let's make sure that Crazy don't know where that AWP is going to be playing from.
Has the AWP here back up to the heaven position, though. This time he's going to stay up in the rafters. Toxic will go downstairs to the B bomb site through Secret. The AWP of Hahn not seeing anything towards outside. Almost landed that shot against the last man. But in the end, a little bit too late to it, so. And teams made their way into the B bomb site. They still suspect it to be a ramp split, but they've all made their way down. They can get a free bomb plant from here. There's no one actually defending, and as the Ob's window gets opened up, Hahn's going to realize what's going on. Also sees Decon door open up as well. So info gathered by Fate, but their realistic chances of this retake are very, very slim. And we've seen how they try this with the full pistols and rifles with an AWP and 4 USPs. I don't think it's going to be possible here.
Well, they've cleared out the site completely. The Fate probably just going to go in all together as a unit, seeing if that AWP can find anything. But, well, so far, Hahn, he finds one pick, and, well, now he might try and see if he can save onto the AWP, but that's not going to be the case as Crazy. Well, the aggression keeps coming. 6-2 on the scoreboard. At least that was only, like, just the AWP saved in. Wasn't too many upgrades. So going into round number 9, we will see the full buy investment coming through. The money line hasn't been great for Fate, so it's actually going to be ships on a FAMAS. But all in all, you've got to think Crazy. They're in a great position. They're on the T side. DC?
Yeah, that's got to be a DC. I'm hearing the ticks in my head. I think that, yeah, they're calling it from here. Sensei was lining up a smoke, I believe. So, you know, obviously this is not live at this moment. Match Medic will come in and just reset it, so that way Sensei does not end up conceding any major economy basis. But yeah, 6-2, still the board. We'll just let him sort of, you know, sort himself out. Obviously, don't want to lose that AWP either. You know, one of the standout players and one of the standout weapons for the T side. So, you know, another moment's respite here, but this time for Crazy as they sort out their tech issues. Yeah, what a game so far. Certainly not one of the, you know, most back and forth sort of matches, but certainly one of the more interesting ones today.
It's had its highlights, to say the least. It really has. But yeah, look, I mean, going into this for Fate, let's just see what they can do on the CT side. I mean, T side, you can expect is going to be pretty rough. Already, they haven't got off to the best of starts. Only 2 rounds on CT, but you've got to think, especially on a map like Nuke, just, you know, getting a bit of confidence, seeing if they can get a bit of momentum going. And for Crazy, like, I'm waiting to see more stuff from the strat book. Because really, what they've done is pretty simple. Like, they've just had a lot of vent dives. They've had a little bit of outside presence of just a couple of lurkers in towards Secret with the cross smokes. But we haven't really seen the deep executions yet. You know, the upper takes where it's like the flashes, the smokes, the Molotovs, where it's just on point in terms of timing and crossfires being set. Or, you know, the cheeky plays where they get outside presence with the cross smokes and garage and main and, you know, sneak their way into garage. They certainly have just played pretty simple. And honestly, I like the way that they're not overthinking things. I mean, Nuke can be a map that is very tactically heavy on the T side, and it can offer a lot of opportunities for interesting strats. But if you're able to win it off simple defaults, well, then just keep doing it.
You haven't seen those advanced strats from Crazy, and considering they're 6-2 up on the basics, that does concern me if Fate are going to try and take it to the next level. Yeah. And if they get anything else out here on the T side, then that's going to be a really bad night here for Fate. the majority consensus is that 9-6 is a good down, I should say, is a good T-side half on modern day Nuke.
Yeah.
So Crazy have already gotten that 6. If they get any more, Fate going into their T-side are going to have a really, really rough time.
Yeah, I mean, Nuke has certainly gone into its updates over the course of the years. It's certainly not like it used to be, but I would say, yeah, you know, 6 rounds on T, 9 on C. Oh, sorry, yeah, 6 rounds on T, 9 on CT is pretty stock standard. If you're able to win out the half on T, you've pretty much secured the map, I would say. A lot of the time, if you get sort of 8, 9 rounds on T, you've pretty much cemented yourself as a victory on a map like Nuke. But, well, we have a little bit of an extended pause. And you've got a thing for Crazy, right? You know? And going into this on the T side, they've got to be feeling pretty confident, knowing the veto and knowing the way that it went through. They were actually, I would say, pretty surprised because Nuke is their insta-ban. And that's what surprised me the most, is that they banned Vertigo rather than Nuke. And Fate, we've seen them play Vertigo a bit. We've not seen them play Nuke. So I was surprised when the veto came out that Fate decided to ban Vertigo rather than Nuke, because that's certainly not the case normally.
Well, I can also understand them getting rid of Vertigo because we just saw, you know, we have seen a number of matches from Crazy on it, and it is one of those ones where it's like, you know, for Fate to remove that map, like, you know, even though they have had some good results, you know, against the likes of Hellraisers and Illuminar in the past, they have also lost it to Crazy before. So, you know, and it was a 16-7. So, you know, they're not messing around when it comes to this. You know, despite the fact that I obviously mentioned at the start of the series that this is a match we don't get to see that often, we have actually seen it once, and that was Overpass 16-11, Vertigo 16-7, both maps to the favor of Crazy. So Fate are doing everything to get rid of those 2 maps right there. They don't want to play those again because they need to find a new way into this series, and it doesn't feel like that new way is currently Nuke at this moment. So for me, I do get where you're coming from, but I don't really feel like Vertigo being banned by Fate is too much of a surprise.
I mean, one thing that, you know, people have certainly got to anticipate when you go into vetoes is that teams have got different ways of vetoing. Every team is different in the way that it works. You know, you got 7 maps and a best of 3. It's, you know, a couple of bans each, a couple of picks each, and the remainder. But the fact is, you know, a lot of the time you kind of want to ban your opponent's weaknesses rather than your weakness, or their strength, I should say. So, I mean, it certainly makes sense in that regard that they would get rid of Vertigo, considering, you know, we've seen these 2 teams on it before. We've seen the fact that Crazy have been able to be very competent on the map. And you've got a thing for Fate, right? Going into this first map, they're probably not really too, I don't want to say invested, but they probably know that they're out of Nuke. They're going to be looking at Train and saying, right, you know, even if we get 16-2'd, we get 16-5'd on Nuke, we've still got an opportunity to come back because Train's our map.
Certainly got to be the mindset, I think, from Fate at this stage. I think they kind of realized that, you know, Nuke getting picked is a bad sign for them. You know, you know, they know the stuff that we know, and they probably know it better than we know it. You know, they don't play Nuke, they don't like Nuke, they don't play well on Nuke, they do their best to avoid Nuke. So, you know, obviously Nuke coming into this moment is going to leave Fate in a bit of an off-kilter stance. So if they can keep the mentality game going, and if they can make sure to just maintain, like, okay, we've got Train, we've already got Train, Train's going to be our map, it is our pick, we don't do well on this map, so whatever, just leave this one be, and we'll focus on the specifics going into the second map. I'm not saying, you know, just you know, basically just like, you know, throw this map down the toilet and don't bother trying, because you never know what can happen. But for Fate, so long as they understand that, you know, there's a likely chance they're going to lose this map anyway, and just move forward with that, then we'll be golden, you know?
And I think for Fate, you know, they're looking for redemption. We saw them in week 1 of Malta Vibes. They had a pretty lackluster performance. They came last in their group. Really didn't have the best of times in the world. So at least going forward, this is their chance to, you know, yes, they've got to stand in. They don't have the best of circumstances at the moment, but this is an opportunity for them to see if they can make it into the playoffs, see if they can get out of this slump. I mean, that's one thing that I'll certainly be looking for the Fate side. What do they need to do to get out of this slump? Because sometimes it's difficult to farfen for players that they're in a slump. You never really want to openly say, like, come on guys, like, we realize we're not playing well, we're in a slump at the moment, because you always want to be looking at the positive attitude, but the fact is they're in one and they need to get out of it.
Yeah, I think in the grand scale of things, Fate will be looking at these matches and just understanding, like, we need to pick things up a bit better for the future. Obviously, as you mentioned, they are in a slump. I think that's pretty much undeniable at this stage. And as you mentioned in the pre-game, it's not exactly like they've been in a slump for months. It's a very recent thing. So, you know, for them, it's a case of focusing on getting out of said slump and into, you know, the actual form that we expect to see a team like Fate. So, got Sensei back in the server. CR4ZY going to ask for one more round restart, obviously, because he had $800, and that does not apply. That shouldn't be a thing, so rightfully so. Match Medic to rerun the round. And it's back to 6-2 on the T side board. If you're just joining us, of course, we're coming off the back of a relatively long technical pause. And with any luck, we should be able to get started relatively soon. Sensei's in server, the buy has come through, the timer has begun, and Fate out to buy up here. You've got Harm back on the AWP, currently top fragging for Fate. Can he carry them out of this deficit? Let's find out.
They certainly need to be looking at someone, and well, Han, in my books, is certainly the man to at least be able to put up a good performance. A good showing on the CT side of Nuke would be very much welcomed to the Fate side. We're going into round number 9. CR4ZY, they've got a good buy on their own account. Not a great amount of utility coming out for the CTs. And Wahani looks like he's going to go quick into the lower bomb side to make his way into Secret. But I'm not sure how much impact they can find, considering how quick this outside presence has already come out.
Lovely. Nikki and Ships on the crossfire. Nikki read where the AWP was, took him down. DemQ will also end up falling the same. One response coming out from Psycho. Blockers down. Patrick, look at how aggressive he wants to get from Ramp Room. Out from Trophy. Looking in towards lobby. Drops one more player to a 4 versus 2. And Fate with a much more refreshed outlook here on this CT side, leaving Toxic alone towards outside. Bombers in CT control. This is an easy third for Fate.
And, well, maybe that's what they needed, a bit of a technical pause for the other opposition. Oh, what a great round from Fate. I love the aggression coming out from Patrick as he aggresses further forward from the trophy room area. And it just pretty much all gets shut down. I mean, it starts off with Nikki and Chips having a really nice crossfire to try and deal with the squeaky presence. And, well, Toxic, last one left, 1 versus 3 from him. Trying to get rid of that AWP. Smart. Very smart, knowing the fact that... they can't give that back over to Han, but they have picked up the T-side AWP, so at least they've got one more to give him.
Get that out of his hands, then Ships will not be able to carry much value into the next round. They'll, of course, win that round. Good spray in from Toxic, aren't able to land the kill. Dropping in against this AWP, takes that fight, does quite a fair amount of damage, but he's dead out of time. He's doing his best to try to take these weapons out of play, and then we'll grab that AWP. Grab that AK on Patrick. Keep 3 alive for their third on the Fate side, so much better defensive being held up here, but the main issue has always been the follow-up. Can they follow up here for Fate against the full rifles of CR4ZY, another rebuy coming in from the T's? It will certainly be a difficult ask.
It certainly will be. And CR4ZY up against a complete full buy now. This is like the full utility sets, the full shebang coming out for Fate, and you've got to think they've got to be able to capitalize on this. They've got to get some momentum. That was a great last round. Let's see if the response can come out. A bit of outside presence in terms of utility, but CR4ZY not really going with it. Again, grouped up outside of lobby, and you've got to think for Ships. You've got to know your angles, mate.
First player down, sprayed through from Nikki's going to get read out by DemQ this time. 5-on-3 player on site, dealt with by Sensei. Actually burning alive to the Molotov of Sensei. 2 players left for the CT camp. They have to save. They've got no choice. Once again, locked out by a crazy good execution from the T side. And there it is, like, you know, just have to fall back, have to save their weapons because they're not getting anything better out of this round. Caught up on the railings. Patrick will actually catch DemQ off guard. And the AWP not looking the right way, looking up from heaven when Sensei swings from hell and Psycho swings and gets him from heaven. Nice and easy. 7-3, CR4ZY. Taking away every single rifle from Fate. So this has to be a half buy or a force buy for the CT side.
And that was like a silent statement. That was like, you can do well, but so can we. I mean, they've completely broken the money, 7-3 up. That is such a great response from Crazy. And it always seems as if, Jay, that whenever Fate win a round, there is some sort of response and some sort of action in play where Crazy just follow up with a round victory.
We're a half by here for Fate, as I mentioned. USPs, SMG, Deagle out for Patrick. Or that P250, I can't quite tell. Either way, a blocker and Ships will press forward, and they don't actually find one pick for their trouble. The Psychos having none of that. 2 kills in the end for Ships, so we can stack up quite the amount of money. Damage has been done to the T side, which won't mean much in the grand scale of things. The rebuy coming in from CR4ZY and Psycho will keep the rest of the players on a high amount of cash. But for Fate, money that can buy up to the rifles. AWP for Ships in particular. Han going to grab a second AWP, so that's what those SMG kills enable. For Mars out for Nikki is going to be the sacrifice and a limited amount of utility. But let's see if these double snipers will be the change of pace that Fate need.
And I don't really remember Ships doing too much AWPing for the contact side. I certainly remember him doing a bit of AWPing back in the Windigo days, so this could certainly be interesting, but oh my goodness, just the spam coming through onto blocker, and that's a great opening kill coming out from Crazy. And you got to think from Fate, they've got to over-aggress to get these kills back, and that's what they're doing. 5 on 3. Where do you go from here for Fate? Try and hold on to the double orbs.
It'll be another save call for the CT side.
Yeah?
I'm not sure that's wise, but at the same time, I'm not sure wasting the weapons are wise either. Money's broken, Fate losing by a number of rounds. Ooh. Good shot from Ships to connect on Sensei. A bit of a tight little, tough little position to see. I guess that glass kind of, keeps Ships blind to the T-side forces. So the fact he's holding a tight angle, if he can connect that shot, mostly be safe here. Could not quite find Toxic. Did not see CR4ZY either. Oh, that's not a good sign. That's not fun. He's a dead man. Oh, Ships. Need to check every position. Just didn't see that head, and he'll lose his life.
And, well, this really has to be the save call now. But the problem is with Nuke, right, is that it is such a difficult map to save on. Because the bomb sites are so elevated from one another, often players are just outside getting so much map control that you try and save, and it's just almost impossible. We saw Nikki was towards the upper bomb site, and he's like, well, what do I do? Like, they've already established presence out towards heaven. I can't go main because they're outside. I can't stay in the A bomb site because I'm dead. So, yeah, Nuke is certainly a very difficult map that if you're out of position can be really difficult to save. And, well, they don't save onto anything.
Nine to 3. This is looking good for Crazy. And again, it's expected, so I don't want to drill the point in too hard, but yeah, Fate not having a good CT half. The eco out with the pistols once again. It's Sensei with the AWP straight in from Squeak Door, opening up the Squeak Door with the nade. Patrick does get Psycho to start things off. The Deagle out, Toxic inbound, could get flanked by one of the CTs behind him, indeed he does, but CR4ZY finds Ships, so all in all it's a 3 on 3. Smoke in, Han looking against Sensei, Sensei drops him. Deagle out for Patrick, Nikki with his Deagle in, and Patrick sneaking in the back, but they're going to go back to that vent dive, where Fate are just not ready for them. Sensei is ready for the AK though, he's got the AWP on his back, considering a rotation. They're literally just going to pull that 1-2-1, but they do get the plant down in the end, so now they're just going to wait here towards the vent area. Ensure that Nikki does not go back through the B-bomb site, and Patrick can't access from ramp, so best to save their AKs.
Did someone say vent dive? Yes, of course, because it's crazy. I mean, we've seen so many vent dives in this T side, and we can understand it. They're finding a lot of success at the moment. Nikki, 1 versus 2 now, making a 1 versus 1. This is very doable. Oh, and he's able to win it out. 5 HP. Oh, that was absolute pixels. Great spray coming out there from Nikki, and for Crazy's sake,
hang on.
Oh, don't you tell me.
Oh, Nikki!
I can't believe I overhyped it as well, man. I thought he had that.
To be fair, though, it was a 1v3 clutch.
It was.
He got the dink down on CR4ZY before he even took the fight against Sensei. That left him on 1 HP, so he was a goner from the outset, and that dink went through the floor, so it would only do damage, no kill, despite being on 5 HP. And he aimed a little bit higher, it may have connected, but Despite that, the bomb too far ticked, and that is the kind of thing that tilts you. You know, you got such an amazing clutch, they still didn't win the round, and now CR4ZY is going for the fast outside players into the A bomb site. It is hard to get the first and the second kill. They're burning. Blocker will take down them, and Patrick getting Sergiz, doubling up of his own rights, and now all left to Sensei in a 1 versus 4 for him, so he's out of dodge.
I'll tell you what, there was like 3 players from CR4ZY that were just so blinded by T-sided flashes that they had no idea what was going on there. And that was probably too much util, I want to say, for the CR4ZY side. They throw in the absolute bucket of utility and they've just got no idea what's going on. The Molotov does so much damage from the CT side. And Sensei, what's a 1 versus 4? And unfortunately, he does not have the bomb on his back.
No, it was dropped in the rush there for CR4ZY. They didn't go for the vent dive, so it definitely didn't drop down there. And Patrick is there to ensure that much is the case. Yeah, this will be a 4th for Fate, and just down to the recklessness here for CR4ZY is what gave up the round, really. Ob's window was open.
It did go down.
That bomb actually is dropped in the vent.
Yeah.
Okay, Sensei can work with this. If Patrick's not ready for this, then this could be a kill going his way. Sensei can pick the bomb up, make his way back into the B bomb site, secure a plant, potentially set up a retake.
Ooh.
And with Patrick vacating the vents, this becomes even more doable for him.
I mean, the bomb plant's not really that important considering how much money they've got, but taking players down on the CT side is, because their economy in terms of reserve is not really there. And well, Patrick's gone, hang on a minute, the bomb's not quite here anymore. And he's going to swing out and, well, doesn't deny that bomb from going down. So a good round coming out from Fate. 4 rounds on the CT side. And I don't know. Patrick, he gets the double digits, he gets 10 kills, but you got to think for Fate, they can be happy with a 4th, but they can't really be happy with this first half.
Ideally, they need a 5th at this stage. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not even sure that can be considered a good first half, but either way, having just some sort of recovery for the second half, you need that much at least, and already you're picked apart the AWP. If Sensei swings in against Nikki as well, trying to double off Sensei!
Come on!
He knew where he was. 5 on 2, and CR4ZY, every time Fate finds some sort of way back in, CR4ZY just bitch smack him back into reality. 1 versus 5 for Patrick, and this will be an 11-4 half.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, that was nice. That was very nice indeed. Oh.
They know.
Well, that nade did a fair bit of damage. But no more than that. Yeah, only 4 rounds on CT. 11 rounds to the T side of CR4ZY. And you're right. You're absolutely right, Jay. Every single time we've seen a round success coming out from Fate, they've not been able to convert another one in a row. All single rounds. Damn. That last round was just explosive. They threw a lot of utility to the upper bomb side to fake it. It's just fast outside. And, well, that round was over pretty quickly.
Again, every single time, it's just so dominant from CR4ZY when Fate are getting started. So going into this T side, I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again for the CT camp. Because again, CR4ZY on the defensive, and Fate are not messing about. Straight outside, Glock taps up, takes out Toxic. Blocker gets Sensei as well. On the backline, Psycho gets himself a nade kill. Demq gets 1, Psycho gets a headshot of his own right. They're held back in, and Demq still alive! Gets 3 kills, and nobody from Fate could deal with him. He's literally pinned in a corner, but still, he gets the 12th for CR4ZY.
Oh, look at those odds over at
Yikes.
Now, Jay, I'm pretty sure you mentioned 1.60 for CR4ZY at the start of the map. Those are pretty good odds. Well, those odds now aren't quite as good. Only 1.02 over from LootBet. If you want to get involved, I mean, you've obviously got an opportunity of maybe placing a bet onto the Fate side. Don't know how strong we would be. All right, well, Jay's just answered that for me. Yep. Don't do it. Because, well, CR4ZY, they're 4 rounds away from victory here.
Oh, man. Scouts out for Blocker to the outside. The force back, trying to get some sort of kill outside, but nothing's going to be seen. DGs have got a fair amount of aggression. They're expecting that blue box area, but tagged up, no kill, not even any damage done to the man outside. So CR4ZY just happy to sit where they are.
And it seems like for Fate, they've got a bit of an idea that there's someone pushed up aggressively outside, but they don't quite know at this point. They don't really have the information. And considering the outside smokes are coming through, this could be big from Sensei if they don't check the angle.
Smoke's down, and he is so ready for this. You can see his trigger finger is itching right now. It all comes up to timing. He swings out the back. Damage has been done by Psycho as well. That's a lot of tease, but he doesn't get the frags for it. Instead, he gets blocked towards upstairs. But he has the info that they're down on the B bomb site. So now CR4ZY can get his chance to strike. He's up on the rafters. Backup's coming in. 2 more players out from ramp. And from observation from double doors, it gets opened up. Han goes falling as not quite his teammate does, but CR4ZY and Psycho do clean up those frags and do clean up the round.
And honestly, there's so much info there. So as soon as that UMP rounds the corner of Sensei, they know, like, those rotations to the lower bomb site was so damn quick. There were 3 players there from CR4ZY before Fate had even considered trying to get to the bomb site. That's how quick the rotations were out through ramp. 13-4. I mean, an expected scoreline. Certainly an expected scoreline, considering that, again, Fate, they don't play this map. It's normally their insta-ban. And, well, they're actually going to force the issue here, Jay, rather than saving and getting the rifles up in the next round. A lot of Mac 10s.
And that's a lot of presence against the Sensei. The M4 gets overwhelmed, so maybe this is a good call. Psycho does take out Patrick for 1 good frag. Blob's on 2 HP, so Toxic can potentially line up a couple of good frags doing damage, but Blocker takes him down. So 3 on 2 now. DemQ could find the M4 recovered by the T-side line. Burst up and through. Again, going to keep him suppressed over to the decon doors. Psycho looking for some sort of way in, but none is going to be seen here. The nade on Blocker. Oh, that goes up so high, but Psycho instead gets the wall bang through the floor. The 2 on 2 now. Deagle missing on his first bullet. They have the bomb site. They do have ships to deal with, though. He drops 1 back to a 1 versus 2. Psycho on 5 HP. CR4ZY might just get overwhelmed with the sheer speed coming out from these boys, and indeed they will. M4 recovered by ships, and that'll be 5 to the board of Fate.
Alrighty, well, the Mac 10 rush out from ramp actually turns out very successful. They get some great entries off the back of old mate Nicky, the in-game leader of this Bulgarian side, finding some couple of fantastic openings. They go into that lower bomb site, and, well, it was a little bit chaotic, and it was a little bit in your face, but Fate, they come away with a 5th round. But you've got to think, even after doing so much work in round number 18, they're now up against a pretty strong buy from CR4ZY.
The smoke's down, straight to the outside, straight down to the B bomb site via Secret. Orb shots from Sensei not connecting. Incendiary back as Psycho holds his own. DemQ will get Blocker for 1 good frag. UMP ready against Patrick as rifles round this corner. And again, the CT's very quickly able to adapt to the positions. 5-on-4 situation as the first player has gone down for Fate. Can any more trades be found? Can CR4ZY find any more good kills? Or CR4ZY will get 1. Patrick trades back on Psycho. DemQ in the back line to the site. Gets Patrick for a response, but Nicky takes out his teammate. So 3 versus 2, and that bomb still yet to commit to the site itself. Molotov down, decon opens, Ships gets the kill, but Nicky falls in trade. So backstabs coming in from the vent area. Ships knows where the 1 player on site is. Will Molotov him out, try to look for a bomb plant, but Sensei will still get his shot off and still get 14 for CR4ZY.
And you can just see how drilled CR4ZY are. You see that protocol. They know it's a rush outside into Secret. The way they reposition themselves on the side, the utility, the repositioning, the crossfires being established, they have practiced that time and time and time again of how to deal with rushes towards that lower bomb side. And yeah, look, Fate, they were able to trade out a couple of kills here and there, but a great hold coming out from CR4ZY. And for Fate, it's going to be yet another force buy, and it's out towards ramp again.
Psycho gets himself 2 kills. It's CR4ZY that is forced off angle, but the AWP of Sensei is ready for them to start swinging in. The smoke will go down. They won't present themselves to the AWP. M4 watching out for what he can, though. And my feed has gone down, Dwight.
Yeah, that's same for me.
That's it. Oh, dear.
And that's a beautiful spray control. Yeah, no, unfortunately, I'm not sure what's going on. But hopefully we'll find out.
I have to refresh the beaming score, mate. I'm not really 100% certain. Either way.
Let's have a look.
Oh, it's really gone. Yeah, I'm getting blue screen at the moment.
Okay.
So right now, we don't know what happened. We have no idea. We have no frame of reference. So, Dwight, how's your day been?
Oh, always good, mate. Always good. Love a good day. You know,
It looked like it was just at the right moment. It was about to get so tense as well.
Well, I'm currently seeing on HLTV at least that it's 14-5. So actually, no, that's a little bit delayed,
That's
isn't
delayed,
it?
because we're 2 minutes in the future. So
yes, we are in the future. How crazy is that?
crazy like crazy with a 4, you know.
Didn't think you'd ever pull that one out.
Hey, you said crazy, mate. I'm taking that. I'm taking that pun.
We're back.
Oh, we're back. All right, okay.
Here
So
we are.
they did win the round. Crazy. 15-5. All right, fantastic. Apologies for that. We're ready to get into the match point round for Crazy. 10 match points as well for Fate. They are going to have a tough little time to get back in control of this one.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, no really other way than putting it than just it's going to be tough. And for Crazy, one more round is going to secure then the first map of Nuke and take us to a second map of the series of Train, which is Fate's map Peck. The outside presence coming out for Nicky and a couple of his teammates. No utility. I mean, they hardly have any of it to use. And, well, unfortunately, the raw jewels outside don't quite go the way of the Fate side.
5 versus 3 situation. Crazy looking real good. Ships just find one response. Okay, that's Psycho down, but Sensei and Toxic are ready to receive them here. Back again towards their standard positions here. A minute to go for the hit. Fate are going to need to make this convergence into the bomb site work out well. Ships on 6 HP. Is no one watching this angle? No, they're not. That could be a cheeky kill. He'll fall back and leave it to his teammates now. But even standing being gained by this man.
And Ships has done a lot. He's done an absolute lot to bring this back into a position that they can honestly convert this round. And it just comes down to timing and seeing if they can draw out any repositions from the city side. They are going to split into this A bomb site. Ships, how much more can he fight? The thing is, he's so low.
Gets another kill, though. That's 3 kills for Ships. No trades out. DemQ can't find the man. Smoke on. Bomb plant will be received. Han's not seen at the edge of it. DemQ. Han's going to move so close towards this smoke. He's got a knife out. This is the most cheeky thing in the world. If he gets a knife kill, credit to you, but what on earth? He'll hear the footsteps. The AK will swing, get one. As a Sergey is somewhere around. They've left towards one man. 2 kills to Sergey. He's got Ships on 6 HP, but he's not checking the right plays. And 4 kills on the board for Ships. Good stuff from him. A hero for Fate when they need it the most.
Oh, that's big. That is so big coming out there from Ships. A huge 4K coming out. The stand-in for this Fate side today. Normally, we see him playing for Contact, but today he's standing in for Fate. And, well, he's leading at the moment in terms of kills for this T side. Unfortunately, Jay, with them winning out the round with only 1 player staying alive, it doesn't really put the economy in the best of stances. There's quite a few Galils out.
Well, 2 in play for Nicky and Patrick, and you can see the money line for both teams has been brought down into. Crazy know that they can still force buy it and take this round. And by extension, this map. Good shot from Sensei will start off with his scouts. Hanging blocker to 30 HP. Ships will slowly creep in, try to see if we can find the man out. And the XM1014 ready to receive. Sergiz could easily melt through the T side if he times it right, but it's Nicky the man that gets that frag in the end. Ships gets Sensei as Patrick is traded back for the CT side, but 2-for-1 trade favor to Fate.
Block up, just on the edge of this smoke in through main. Toxic actually super aggressive. That actually drops the bomb in the open and puts it back into a 3 versus 3, and even playing field now for the Crazy side. Oh, not anymore. All gone.
I was going to say, Demq and Toxic do be responded to, so not to be. Psycho with his deagle out. He does hear the footsteps of the player with the bomb, though. He knows where it was dropped. Trying to take Nikki, but Ship swings in simultaneously.
4K
Another
again? 4K
for this guy. And you're talking about, obviously, how he's the super sub. 20 kills so far. Only second to Psycho on the CT side, 25. And, I mean, at the very least, Fate are being brought back into it by this guy's performance alone.
And you got to think, if Ships can do this on Nuke, imagine what he can do on Train and Mirage. He's really, it seems to be the main carry at the moment, which is kind of not the best thing. It's certainly not the greatest stat line that your stand-in is carrying you at the moment, but Ships is doing a fantastic performance. He's really playing well. 2 rounds where he's got 4Ks in a row. And Fate, well, maybe, just maybe they can get to double digits here, considering the fact that they're going to be able to get a pretty easy 8th. It's only USPs to the CT side.
Yeah, just in case of Mac-10 trying to clean up the easy frags, the AKs. Do whatever they can. I was just looking for the money makers here. Behind us, that first pick. And Nikki swinging in from ramp, just take out Psycho. 2 players could drop in against him. Is he going to check the boost spot? He doesn't get Sensei, so that's that. Glock out against Sergey, and he gets that headshot as well. Demq, last man standing, going for a knife kill. Nice try, but not to be. And Fate with 8. Now within 7 of the overtime here, but, you know, it's all a case of when's that one round that Crazy are going to get that's just going to just push them over the finish line. That's what Fate are really just sort of trying to, you know, stall, if not prevent here with the long grind.
And, you know, we've casted Fate a few times recently, and I'm pretty sure we've seen the double ops on T-side from them in the past of both Nikki and Blocker. I mean, not even Han has got this AWP. And, well, they're seeing if they can find an opener. There is a good tag coming out to Psycho, so some early damage being done.
There's a leg shot from the AWP on main. Once they could pass that M4 off to Sergey's, but he's way out of position. And Psycho becomes the first casualty of the CT side. The AWP knows there's a player also, once again, in secret. I'm going to catch him out, but the smoke down will keep him protected. It's a 5 versus 4 for Fate. Once again, finding the opening man advantages here. Now looking to face in against Crazy. Is Toxic the closest side of the smoke here?
Yeah, he is.
Oh my goodness, he's only going to get 1 frag. Nikki and Patrick do maintain control, but that could have been a disaster play for the T-side if they let it happen. Sergey's and Sensei on the B-bomb, so they have to save.
Okay, I think Crazy need to just take a little bit of a moment to calm down, because, yeah, again, Fate haven't looked the best on this map, but they are bringing this back, and they're getting closer and closer to double digits. I'd really like to see a tactical pause coming out from Crazy, just to kind of give them a moment to just realize the fact there is always a chance that Fate can come back to overtime. Like, it's not a good chance, I would say, but there's always that chance. You don't want to let the round slip away.
I know, they are letting them slip for a moment. Crazy need that good round to come back to, and Fate will, of course, just lose all manners of control. Again, it's just that one round that Crazy need. So, yeah, you know, you've got so much of a buffer that, you know, why not just go for a couple of ecos, maybe a half buy or something, around maybe these 2 rifles, and just be like, right, let's just get the full-blown double orb setup out and just wreck these fools and call it a day. And you got a second map to play, obviously, is their pick. So, you know, why waste time here? Just get straight towards it, employ your plan. Trailer's not the worst map for Crazy, so, you know, let's get it on, you know, let's just, you know, close this one out very quickly. And they will go for that, half buy across Psycho and Toxic, and Demq's going to get a Zeus and nothing else. Of course, with the AEK, the M4, I should say, from Mars, saved in by Tensei and Sergez, respectively. The double orb set up out for Fate here. Let's see what damage Crazy can do.
And, well, it's not very often you see double orbs on the T side of Nuke, but look, if it's something that works for them, then just go for it. Why not? Ooh,
oh, it worked.
The Zeus. That's probably the first Zeus kill we've seen today, and we've seen a lot of attempts.
Ships with the orb out, not quite connecting to Patrick. Sensei will respond to him though. 3 versus 2. Backstab in. Sensei's got 3 picks and the 4th. Oh, I can't believe Crazy won a round like that. Fate stacked into the A bomb site, and the M4 just pushed further and further back, but getting more and more kills. 16-9 for CR4ZY. They're finally going to take their map.
Got to be honest, I did not think it was going to be that round that gets CR4ZY to their 16th. But look, all in all, that was a very strong performance. They really looked very comfortable at pretty much all stages of that map. And for Fate, again, they can brush it aside. They realized going into Nuke that it wasn't going to be the easiest time in the world. But for CR4ZY, it's good to see that, they're on point. They're very sharp. The tactical depth is there. So for CR4ZY, everything points to them at the moment.
Everything does indeed, that was a hell of a comeback from Fate, so credit to them. I don't think that they had a very good map at all. 16-9 is still a 16-9. It's not a fantastic scoreline by any stretch of the imagination, and having that CT side go so awry, and that last round especially, where I think Fate should have been in with should have cinched that one. CR4ZY were ecoing for the sake of getting 4 rifles in the next round. The fact that they lost to that is not too impressive, I think.
Yeah, look, I mean, it is what it is, unfortunately, and sometimes, it's not the best of buys that ends up winning you that following round that you need to gain the map. But look, I certainly think for Fate, go into it with a fresh attitude onto Train. It is your map pick. We haven't seen the best of results from CR4ZY, so potentially, we could have quite a good series on our hands. I thought Nuke could be a little bit more of a whitewash than a 16-9. Like Jay said, we had a bit of a comeback there from Fate towards the end. So honestly, considering the performance that we saw from Ships, we could certainly be on for a very exciting series, Jay.
Well, Train will have to decide whether that will be an exciting series, and Fate picked it. They better win it because they're up for elimination right now. Join us after the break, where our second half of our best of 3 will be taking place between CR4ZY and Fate. Again, it's going to be off the Train for the second time today. Don't go anywhere.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best nickel fights I've been to.
Welcome back to Malta Vibes. We're getting into our second map with our deciding matchup of Group B between Crazy and Fate. If you are just joining us, you missed out on Nuke Map 1, and it was a 16-9 victory for Crazy. It was their map pick. It was the expected result. It could have been much more one-sided, of course, but in the end, it still ended up with the favor of the Ukrainian team. Now, Train is where things can pick up for Fate. Now, I did say previously that I wouldn't put it past Crazy to 2-0 this team, and I still stand by that.
Yep.
To a certain extent. Now, this was before I actually looked at the specific match statistics of Train for Crazy, and they're not particularly good, Dwayne. So, you know, I'm more focused on the idea that Fate are going to still be in their slump. I still think they were in their slump. Like, if you've got a situation in which a stand-in for your team is top fragging like tenfold or like twofold above everybody else in that team, we have a problem fundamentally with the team, in my opinion.
I'm with you 100%. There is a massive problem. Like, there is no way in which a stand-in is your main carry. It just doesn't happen. So look, going into this, like Jay said, it is the decider map. Fate have had to make their way in for the lower bracket. We're Crazy. They won their opening best of 1 against Hard Legion. They went down from Aves to get into this position. Now, the winner will advance into the playoffs. The loser will be going home. Yep, look, you can make the exception. It's not a great map for the Crazy side, but you've got to think, like, even against Aves, we saw them 2 days ago take them to OT. Yes, they didn't really get going on the T side today against Aves, but I don't know what we'll see from Fate. I mean, most people going into this series, if they weren't watching Nuke, can kind of say, oh, you know, 9 rounds, it's not a bad result. I mean, those 9 rounds, it probably should have been like 4. So it was so one-sided in that first map that you can't really take a consideration to say, you know, they were decent in the first map, they're going to now look very strong in the second.
Well, that's the thing you've got to consider, right? Is that especially on the CT side, you know, they had the 4 rounds from the T side, I should say. They had the first 4 rounds on the CT side. Then they won, what was it, a conversion, and then they were able to win off the back of the rifles and connecting them all together after that, you know, and just resetting the economy over and over again until eventually they lost to another eco. So, you know, it just that of its own right is just going to really highlight that maybe the numbers may be a bit more inflated. I think you're right about that. It should have been closer to 4 rounds than it should have been 9. You know, 5 if you want to meet us halfway there. But you know, let that be your own decisions. Yeah, that's the issue I'm thinking about. You know, you're going to be rocked off the back of that first map, regardless of how much you think about. Yes, it was the Crazy map pick. Yes, it's a good map for them. No, it's not a good map for Fate. You know, the main thing for me is that mentality going to stick? Because we were saying in the midst of that, one of those tech pauses, just like, look, the one thing they have to do is just not concentrate too hard on Nuke. They have to look towards the second map. They have to think, listen, we know we're not going to be that great on this map. Let's just focus on our game, on our map pick, where we can definitely win. The question for me is, have they maintained that mentality?
And I'm sure it's going to show, I would say, within kind of like the first maybe 4, 5, 6 rounds of Train. You'll certainly see in their playstyle whether the mentality has continued forward or it's kind of, you know, come in fresh and kind of said, you know, this is our map pick, we can certainly take this. And, you know, you look at the statistics, you look at the stat lines, everything points to Fate being able to convert this map. But again, it comes off to a start from Crazy. You know, if they go down into the dumps, if they don't get off to an early start, we could certainly be seeing this become quite an easy map for the Fate side. But again, what kind of Fate are we going to see? They're in a stand-in. Yes, their results looked pretty good, and they're against top-tier teams. But in recent times, you'd take the last 2-3 weeks into consideration. We've seen losses against Hellraisers, Sprout, Illuminar, Simon. The Illuminar one for me is pretty big that they lost to a team like that. I mean, obviously, Crazy, I wouldn't consider being a team comparable to any of those 4 I just mentioned. But again, we've seen Crazy upset.
Indeed, we have. And on a map like this, again, I don't put it past them, you know. Even though Fate's general statistics and consistency over the course of the last 3 months have proven to be pretty respectable, prior to today, they were on a 4-map losing streak. You know, that was broken against Hard Legion a little bit earlier on this evening when they had played the elimination match. But, you know, for Fate, like, again, it's a case of which fate are we seeing, and I'm sure Ships are making a bit of an impact in that respect. You know, he's not quite letting them go so far as to, you know, fall into the old habits and fall into the old slump that we saw from them in previous matches. You know, with that extra sort of bit of a boost, because you got to remember, Ships is a player that's like, you know, well above the Fate side in the context of Counter-Strike. He plays for Contact, you know, like he's part of a relatively decent sort of like borderline tier 1 team. So for me, you know, I feel like his sort of talent is certainly, you know, bolstering Fate, but it's everybody else that needs to step up for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you know, Contact, they've certainly had their struggles recently, but they are borderline a tier 1 team, right? You know, they've certainly had their successes on LAN, online. They've got a lot of individual talent. So Ships, you know, standing in, it seems like it's a good fit. I mean, there's not really that many Bulgarian players that are playing in Europe at the moment. Obviously, Poison is going to be playing in NA on Complexity. You've got Cirque, again, playing in NA with EG. So it's not as if it's like an easy chance to get a Bulgarian player. I mean, I suppose unless there weren't Bulgarian options, they could have gone for something else, but you really don't want to be transitioning into something like English when you're playing a very important tournament that can, you know, potentially, you know, lead into some big opportunities. Like, I know this is only the group stage, but the playoffs, winning the grand final of the Malta Vibes, it gets you a big cash check of 25,000 USD, and it also gives you an opportunity to have a boot camp in Malta. So it offers a lot, and you've got to think for the Fate lineup, they've come in with, you know, a good stand-in. But again, going into train, I can certainly see a 2-0 on the cards, but I think we will be going to a third map, Jay.
No, I think I can sort of agree. I'm more looking towards the 2-0 as an upset scenario here for the for the crazy side. You know, that they're certainly going to have, I think, potentially a good game. They will have a chance, but I'm not holding my breath on an upset in that respect. You know, I'm thinking that we probably should go to Mirage as our final map of the best of 3, and we'll see where the cards fall from there. But I do want to talk win conditions for crazy, because we talk a lot about how they should be able to at least take it close, potentially bring an upset. What do you think they need to do to push them over the finish line on train?
They just need to fire up individually, get that AWP out into Sensei, get him on the AWP. He's the one that's finding you opening picks on the T side. He's the one that's finding big multi-kill rounds on CT. That's what they need to do. Get the AWP into the hands of Sensei and just sit down to the players. I mean, they've got a very experienced coach in the fact of Jonta to say, right, you know, yeah, we don't really play this map. Let's play with absolute confidence. Let's play like we've got nothing to lose. Let's play like we're the favorites on train. And if we can do that, well, there's a chance we can 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I think another thing as well probably being shut down Ships for my liking. You know,
yeah,
I think
that's a good
him,
option.
You know, if you can sort of like isolate those first kills against him and take him out of play very early on, and I think you have a very good chance at potentially sealing the deal against Fate. Obviously, the other thing would also be get that CT start as well. You know, that's where we need to see some decency coming out from the crazy side. The Night Round live here, Dwayne. So again, I want to give a quick shout out to Gaming Malta. Malta Vibes is brought to you by Gaming Malta, the home of esports excellence. So, you know, I think the CT start is pretty important. How important do you think the CT start will be here for Fate and Crazy?
I think it's vital, at least for Crazy. Like, if they want to be able to come back in the series, if they want to get a 2-0 start, well, that's not a great start considering that there's a player DC'd in the knife rounds. That's not the start they're looking for. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Like, that CT side for me is so vital for Crazy. Oh,
are they going to rerun the knife round?
I've never seen a knife round being match made. Can you imagine that? Boys, we've got a DC. Can we... Are they actually going to do it?
Oh my god, they are.
I've never seen this. This is a first. All here at the Malta Vibes.
Min-max beyond belief. I love that. I love that from Crazy. To be fair, though, as we mentioned, it is pretty important to get that side half for Crazy. This could be the difference between 2-0 and going to that third map. So, you know, I'm sure they'll have to get to bed early. You know, it's approaching, what, 11, probably midnight, actually. It's approaching 11 for us, but probably midnight in the mainland Europe region. So you know, for them, like they don't want to be up here so late. They want to go to bed. They're also in Ukraine, so they're like, you know, CIS Eastern Europe. So that might be even later for them. You know,
it could be like 1 o'clock. Yeah,
it's you know, for Crazy, obviously they'll start feeling fatigued at this stage. So you know, let's get this match over and done with, ideally for them.
I've got to be honest, that's a first for me. I mean, we've had a couple of firsts. We've obviously had that massive wall bang on Nuke. Never seen a match medic in a knife round, so that's something new. But I mean, look, it makes a lot of sense. You know, he DC'd before any damage was done. I'm not sure what the ruling is, especially considering it's not an actual round. But
I mean, well, clearly the ruling is we're going to rerun and match.
Well, yeah, I suppose
round,
so. Yeah. It's I would say very vital for Crazy if they can start off on City side, get those AWPs firing up, run the double orbs if they want to. But yeah, obviously the knife round plays into, I would say, a big element for both these sides. I would say for Fate, it doesn't really matter for them if they start CT or T, but at least for Crazy it does.
As we wait for Sensei to reconnect here. Moment of respite here for these two teams again but to look towards a very important round, and you know I say that without any level of sarcasm or anything like that. I do think it's going to be particularly difficult for whoever starts on that T side. I believe it was Sensei that also disconnected earlier on in Nuke as well, so I'm not sure what the specifics are for him, whether or not it's down to I'm not sure whether it's down to you know, internet issues, game issues, PC issues, whatever it is. We should find out soon enough, but he's going to get back in the server, so we can get to our knife round. We can see exactly where these two teams will start.
I've got a question for you, Jay. Well, we'll talk about Lubed just quickly here. Obviously, if you want to get involved in having a great punt, you get the fantastic options of our betting partner. A 1.67 odds for Fate on this second map of Train. Now, Jay, why is there a puddle in City Spawn when it is sunny on Train?
I mean, maybe it was raining before. Like, that's the best thing I can think of.
But the puddle's always there, so how does that work?
Brother, you've been living in the UK for a year right now. You should know how this works, okay? The most inconsistent weather in the world. And you should know how this works by now. It's very, very, it's a very weird thing with how this will go.
I mean, I've never noticed that before, the puddle. But
it is otherwise a very insignificant detail that no one would pay attention to.
It's only because we were staring at it for so long.
Whoa, that is not fun. I think the extent of our technical issues are going to go much further than just Sensei's connection problems, Dwight. Hamdulillah. So yeah, about that puddle you were mentioning.
Yeah, go on, Jay. You've got some sort of like scientific reason for like why that's the case.
I don't. It's
that's
just a case of some. It's just a technical detail. I'm pretty sure they didn't think about that much when they added that there.
Whoa! You saying they didn't think about it? Whoa!
Well, look, think about all the complexities of creating a CS:GO map. I don't think the devs are spending hours creating a puddle.
We'll have to. Those are the hard questions right there.
Well, it looks like we're back in the game. I think we've got Fate starting things off on the CT side. We are seeing some pauses come out though, so I'm not 100% certain what is exactly going on at this stage here. It looks like we've got a few more tech issues before we actually get started in this one thing. But it looks like this has been decided for the most part. I mean, I'm hearing ticks in my head, so it sounds like they're discussing something. Maybe another rerun of the knife round? I
can you imagine?
I think that would really be pointless at this stage. Like, come on, guys.
Oh god, that would be funny. But yeah, it looks like we will be jumping into the pistol round. By the looks of things, Fate being able to win it out, starting that CT side. Ooh, I like the Doppler from Nikki. You know what though? Thinking of some nice skins, Hellcase, a great partner. You can get some nice skins from them. You know, opening up some great cases. That's the sapphire flip knife Doppler. Yep, not bad.
My favorite pattern, again, I love it.
You got what, the ruby, the sapphire, the black pearl, which is like 1 in 100 or something?
1 in 100, mate. That's way too common for a black pearl. That is like 1 in like a million or something.
No. It is
stupid rare. Like
right. No. I'm gonna look this up. I'm pretty sure it's 1 in 100. Chance of a black pearl.
Oh, he's gonna.
Hang on. Last but not least, there is an ancient grade. This is the rarest Doppler pattern with the rarity of less than 1% on every Doppler night. So it doesn't actually seem like we've got an exact number there. It's just less than a percent.
Right? Less than 1% means
could be
it's
anything.
less than 1 in 100. So there you go.
I'm sure I've seen it somewhere. It's 1 in 100. I'm sure.
Oh, you can go find that reference for now. Yeah, small tech issue again for CR4ZY is they had lost one player over on that T side, so they should be able to get things sorted. And maybe they're changing their skins or something. That would certainly be a really, really weird way of pausing the match or a really, really excuse to pause the match. But alas, needs most. But yeah. Fate currently starting things off, looking like they will have that CT side and a CT side for their map pick as well. Again, it is every advantage going the way of Fate very early on this one. For CR4ZY. I mean, statistically speaking, they actually have a pretty good T-side half here on train. It's not like, you know, fantastic, but
yeah,
better than their CT side according to the statistics on HLTV. So, you know, you never know. Maybe this might be the half that CR4ZY can test, and then you know, somehow win like a 13-2 and then finish it off from there. You never know.
You never know. That's one thing with Counter-Strike is, you know, we've seen upsets over the course of at least Malta vibes. I'd say both week 2 and week 1. Hard Legion in particular for me is a huge upset that they come out in last place again. Considering the fact, you know, we've seen them at like the We Play event, we saw them in Road to Rio, like we saw heaps coming out from the Hard Legion side, and it's just so surprising that they went out in last place. They lost to Illumina last week and then losing to Fate this week to go out.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Fate did manage to evade the last place position because they were on for it for a second week in a row. So both teams able to just maintain their, you know, well, Fate I should say, but Bat may be able to maintain their progress up that things. And I guess we could talk a little bit about Hard Legion because it's a team we didn't get to see here today on the mainstream. I kind of wanted to because, you know, obviously, you know, for a team of that caliber, like it feels like to me they are starting to enter a very severe slump because this is the second week now that they're going out against teams that I think that they should be able to beat. You know, for me, based on what Fate saw, I would have thought that yes, that would have ended up being you know, a crazy, a simple sort of series there for Hard Legion. It wasn't. There was some very dominant scorelines involved for Fate. And against CR4ZY, it was a best of 1, but CR4ZY did still manage to edge it out with a bit of a choke there from Hard Legion in their best of 1. So for me, like, it's a bit of a weird one with that particular team. So I just want to entertain the conversation about this squad. Like, you know, what's happened to Hard Legion?
Well, it seems like they just choke in Malta vibes. I mean, I was able to watch them a little bit in Hellcase, you know, last week, and they came second in that event. They had wins over Forza, over Harvu, Sprout. They made it to the grand final where they lost to Omega. So it's so surprising that we've seen good results from them online. I mean, we played Clutch Island. They took a map off VP. They took a map off Windstrike. In Road to Rio, they placed 3rd. So it's like the results are there. But for some reason, in Malta vibes, I don't know if they're overcomplicating things or they just think they're the favorites or what it is. But we've seen week 1 and week 2 going out in last place, which really should never happen. And I'm not sure if that's the fact of playing lower tier teams they struggle with. You know, that could potentially be a point of contact. The Hard Legion are playing so many of these top tier 2 teams and maybe low tier 1 teams that when they get faced off against teams that are ranked around like that 60-70 position, they can't grasp the idea of a victory.
You can grasp it here in this week's action again. They have gone out in last place alongside you know, AGF from Group A, who are another team that I kind of hope to see go quite far. Now, obviously, they've been balancing 9 to 5 as well at this moment. They've actually had a lot of success in that tournament as well. But you know, here in the in week 2 of Home Sweet Home, their first appearance in sorry, not Home Sweet Home. That's the wrong tournament. Very similar formats. Okay, I messed this up. No, but here for the first week, their first appearance here in Malta Vibes, AGF going out in last place in Group A behind SG Pro, who have also been making the name for themselves. And for AGF, I'm kind of surprised here. These guys have been looking, they've been on the uptick, and going out in last place, they're kind of going to get knocked for a bit of a loop, I feel like, as a result of that. And, you know, again, their group was filled with Hellraisers and Forza, so fair play on that respect. But AGF are always that team that somehow managed to surprise me, and they almost did against Forza because they took a map off of them.
I mean, AGF is a team that's in a bit of a weird state at the moment because obviously Chriso, who was playing over at North on loan for about a month or so to fill in for Kirby, that loan's ended now. So he's going back to this lineup. So then they're like, well, what do they do with Dafu? Because Dafu was standing in while Chriso was gone. So are they going to have a rotating 6-man lineup? Like, what's going on there?
I think they're probably going to get rid of Dafu in general. Like right now, it seems like with Crypto returning to the fold, they're going to have their main 5 players. And
yeah,
for me, I feel like that may be the appropriate way to approach things here for that AGF camp. But you know, again, a team with a lot of potential. Again, the other team with potential is SG Pro or S Gaming.
Absolutely,
they actually managed to somehow beat out the likes of Forza in a best of one capacity, sure, but still managed to go toe to toe against them, toe to toe against Hellraisers as well. You know, we talk about CIS and Russia being filled with so much talent, and that's kind of proof of the pudding, I feel.
No, SG Pro have come out of nowhere, honestly. Like, I had never even heard of these guys like a week ago, and they've been super impressive. They put up some really great results in some online tournaments recently, 9-5 in both Malta vibes. And it's good to see that, you know, there's a couple of new kids on the block. I mean, Crazy, I suppose, is another one of those CIS teams that are, you know, up and coming. But SG Pro, keep an eye out for them because they're very unknown, and I certainly think, you know, give them the opportunities and they can show a lot of upsets and show a lot of potential.
All right, well, players are dropping from server left, right, and center, it seems, Dwayne. So what we're going to do is, as this tech issue continues to be resolved, we're going to send us over to a very short break. So hopefully when we come back, we should be able to get our 5th in on the Crazy side. Right now, they're looking for a stand-in at this moment. So
okay.
Another one coming in for them.
Stand-in for stand-in.
Stand-in for stand-in, yes. Seems to be stand-in trades across the day, but we'll come back in after a short break. So when we do return, we should be into our pistol round between Fate and Crazy on a train. Do not go anywhere.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best tickle fights I've been to.
Welcome back to Malta Vibes. We're ready to get started with our pistol round here between CR4ZY and Fate. We have found our stand-in for the Fate side due to their technical complications. They have brought Wonderful back in, a 15-year-old prospect that could very well be able to do some decent damage here, but it has thrown the situation off a little bit for CR4ZY. You see those odds there from our partners at Loot Bet. Again, you get 100 euros on your bonus for a deposit. Is out to the T side start here. I've realized those names actually are the wrong way around. So CR4ZY on the T side as it's first kill for Sergis, taking out Blocker. USP standing by. Han takes out DemQ and a quick trade back from Wonderful, who does find his opening kill here in this matchup. 3-on-3. Psycho spotted, tapped up here by Nicky, running out of ammo, clicks on the gun, leaving ships left alone. Catches off Sergis for one good frag, but 1 versus 2 for him. Taps up again towards the bomb site. No kit. Psycho knows where he is. He knows where Psycho is. Taps up, takes that kill. And Wonderful. Here we go. Stand-in v stand-in. Backs turn, looking towards upper. Wonderful has no utility. Ship says no kit. Taps in again. Going to do some damage. You're going to try to challenge Wonderful directly. And Wonderful wins the fight. There you go. 3 picks for him, and that's a start for the stand-up.
Oh my goodness, alrighty. Like, take a bow, Wonderful. That's huge. That is such a big pistol round on the T side of Nuke to get that victory. 3 big kills. Now, Wonderful, if you haven't heard of him before, I can understand that. He's only played 1 best of 3 on record on HLTV last month against this crazy side in a small cup. But 15 years old, you know, this could be the chance for him to really start to shine on the map if he's able to put up a great performance against a team like Fate.
Yeah, and again, you know, a hell of a way to make your name, I feel like.
Yeah.
The stand-in potential could come out from CR4ZY. And again, Fate could have a bit of difficulty against their line, you know, because CR4ZY being in a situation where they've got like a prospect and they've got kind of adjusted on the way that they were playing out on Nuke. Now here with this second stand-in. CR4ZY to make their way into the B-bomb site. We've got Blocker standing by with his Deagle, looking for the first pick on Psycho. Seeing his head flick back towards him, missing most of his shots though, and 1 HP for Psycho. DemQ and Wonderful will get those open a couple of picks back to 5 versus 3, so Fate do get overwhelmed on the B hit.
And, well, you got to think, Fate, they try to go for the force buy, but unfortunately, not really too successful in doing so. They do a massive amount of damage onto Sergis and Psycho, but no kills going their way. The scout Patrick just seeing if he can find anything, but he's getting challenged, trying to fall back, and they keep doing damage, but they haven't found a kill yet, Jay.
Patrick in a 1 versus 5, trying to get out of dodge here with his scouting check. Shots firing away from whatever weapons that they've got right now for the T-side camp. The shots from DemQ, missed again from Patrick, still looking in against the player back here, but nothing is going to be seen. They're going to get away alive, it seems, on all 5 of the T-side. Same could be said for Patrick with his scout. 2-0 for CR4ZY at this stage.
And I'll tell you what, we actually saw like a pretty competent T side against Aves a little bit earlier on for CR4ZY. If they're able to get off to a good start on the T side, then it could be certainly an opportunity to grind out the CT rounds. And Fate not really upgrading too much more to back up that scout in from the last round of Patrick. And that SMG of Psycho, he really wants to get up close and personal because he's got the one that can certainly make the most money on the playing field at the moment for the T's.
Wonderful and Toxic that will get up aggressive, and DemQ gets that opening kill. Wonderful, looking for Ships to back a stopper, gets that frag, doubles up, looking towards Nicky.
Okay.
All right. This kid's got something to prove.
He does.
This is for Han and Blocker here. CR4ZY with a fantastic start on T-side. Fate starting to getting knocked out of their sails here. The buy-up can come through with the rifles in the next round, but for now, they've kind of got to consider the situation as Blocker has a Zeus and nothing left to work with. 5 players alive for 2 rounds in a row. CR4ZY looking real confident here.
Yeah, they certainly are dealing with a lot of these buys relatively well. Oh, wonderful. 7-0 at the moment. I mean, what a statement. And I'm not sure how much that will play, like, psychologically into the guys of Fate, but I can certainly imagine Nicky saying, like, guys, this is our perfect opportunity of going to the playoffs. We've got to stand in, yes, but so do they.
Right now, it's the Oh, I mean, to be fair, he is replacing Sensei, so
yeah,
that kind of makes sense to a certain extent.
It does.
And he's got 7 kills so far. Again, it's the stand-ins that are the ones doing the damage here for Fate and Crazy. Orb straight up here, sees the player up over at the Ivy presence. And where he's at, Ship's going to make his way out with the AUG. The smoke down, seeing CR4ZY. CR4ZY gets that opening kill. Traded back by Patrick. Nicky caught off blind here. He does get DemQ. And Psycho moving in. Wonderful is pinned and suppressed here. Han's going to get Toxic for his own Orb frag. So 4 versus 2. Psycho going to go down. As Crazy to push in 1 by 1, leaving their standing alone. 1 versus 4. Wonderful contesting top of trains. Good shot against Nicky. That's a decent start here for him, but they know that bomb's been dropped. And they, of course, know that he can only challenge from one area of the map here. He hasn't got time or state of mind to rotate towards Ivy without giving up information. So this looks to be a first here for Fate.
And it really just is a complete shutdown. Sandwich smoke or 5-6 smoke coming out for Wonderful. We're seeing if he can just bait in Fate to get aggressively, and that's probably the only chance he wins this clutch, is if they just give him 1v1 duels and start to over-aggress. He's just seeing if he can do anything.
2 flashes here, jump face. Oh, trying to bait out the AWP as well, but not to be. 3-1 to the board, Crazy. Still built up quite the economy line, so they can rebuy here. What?
Okay, that had to be a misbuy. Yeah, he gets that away pretty quickly, but oh, it looked like Patrick was like, hang on, I'll take it. But no, it looks like they're going for the double up setup. So a bit of a misbuy coming out from Ships, and well, that's always not great to the economy line, just wasting $2,000. But double ups out for Fate. Now, we've seen this before from them on the T side of Nuke. Now it's on the CT side of Train.
All back out for Wonderful here on the T side, looking for his wallbang shot against Han. He did get close to landing it, but didn't quite get the kill. Double ops in, as you mentioned, from Han and Blocker. One's left over to the upper position of the train. He sees the first man, takes out Toxic. Toxic can see him, almost lands his second shot on a head, but very, very limited amount of breathing room here. He gets tagged to 36 HP as Crazy vacate the Brown Halls.
A good opening coming out from Fate and his Blocker with that secondary AWP. Now, you've got to think, for Crazy, this is them setting themselves up for a B play. They've got a late lurk out from Ivy, and that's CR4ZY finding the opener. That might even rotate a single player from B over to A to back up and have a triple man setup. But at the moment, Fate, they're pretty happy in leaving both these orbs there a bit.
Boost up here from Wonderful. We'll look towards the hill back on the B bomb site. Aggression coming in from CR4ZY as he looks to the M4 of Nicky. On the corner, Sing Man taking him down. Okay, back to the man advantage of Crazy, but they've taken so much time to set this up. 25 seconds. Now the hit's got to come through. There's an M4 in the back of the site. He's got to deal with all of the T's if they decide to go towards A, and looks like they will split in. 15 seconds to the clock. Orb spotted. M4 takes out one. Looks at E-Box. Sees another player back here once again. He flashes over. Bomb barely making its way to the bomb site. Caught off straight through. Han's going to get that pick back, and Blocker catches CR4ZY as well. Way too slow from Crazy, looking for the opening kill for so long, just didn't have enough time for the actual execution.
I'm just not sure why they planted so open like that. They could have planted for Pop Dog pretty easily and it would have just gotten completely undefended. They know that Ships was around this camera position, and well, Psycho just hopes that his teammates defend the position. But you're right, you know, that looked very lackluster. They ran out of time. They weren't sure what to do, whether to go B or A, and just overthinking things to the T side. And that's an opportunity for Fate to be able to tie us up at 3 rounds each now.
Orp of Han still watching out the A site. Again, held back to connector here as Crazy. You can't even take the wallbang shots. They're out of weapons. They're out of rifles. Just Deagles here for the T side. That's from DemQ, looking for Ships downstairs. Just gonna ace out and look against him, but no information being gathered. Ships actually catch off that kill, so there you go. 5-on-4 situation, and again, rifles should trump pistols as you would expect. Crazy having a good start, but the follow-ups have been very, very weird, and unfortunately it looks like they will concede a 3rd round back to Fate, so we stand at square one. The rifle's coming back in for Crazy, a chance to take the one-upmanship against Fate.
And, well, Crazy, looks like they are going to make a bit of presence over towards Brown Halls and try and make their way into this B-bomb site. What's really interesting, Jay, is the fact that they keep running double orbs of Han and Blocker at this B-bomb site. A lot of the time, if there's double orbs on CT, you'll often see one out towards Backgreen and Ivy and one out of the B-bomb site. But for Fate, double orbs at B, it makes a lot of sense, especially in this round.
Good shooting. Good shooting from Han there. Mr. Smoke, CR4ZY is left alone. Yeah, this pistol round is Eco going to go about as well as Ecos do go. 3K for the AWP and 3 rounds for Fate. They try and bring things back against Crazy. Rebuy coming in for the T's, and the CTs look to get things really started here on their favored half. AWP's back in the standard. No double orbs, I don't think, this time. Actually, no, one was dropped for Han right there, so he can grab that second orb, no trouble, no bother. And that has been a pretty effective setup so far here for Fate. Both orbs have been having relatively decent impact. No orb for Crazy this time. Wonderful, not allowed to get that out, but that's probably more of a money issue than it is anything else.
And look at the aggression coming out towards Brown Halls and Han. We've seen the B players incredibly passive. This time around, they start to turn up the tempo, very aggressive. They find the opening kill, but they can't hold on to the advantage.
4-4. AK Psycho pops out, spots 2, takes out 1. Then falls back out of Pop Dog here as Crazy tries to think about their strategy. The bomb is on DemQ, which is making its way in from T-Con. Actually, this could be a 3-pronged split, but Wonderful making his way out. Aggressive past the Molotov into the smoke. Blocker takes him down. So even standing. Orb still here on site. Blocker dealt with, so Han's left alone as the last Orper here on the bomb train. Patrick going to join him, and they're both going to defend this like an island, it feels like. Looking on Sandwich, seeing one player crossing. M4's ready to receive it. Player coming out from Ivy, they know that he's there at least. DemQ spotted with a shoulder blade. That's damage done to 16 HP. And Han looking for his way in. CR4ZY's looking to take him out. Patrick now last man standing with 3 to deal with. Catches one. There's another player somewhere around red. And repositioning here to the stopper area. Duck down, CR4ZY moving in, gonna catch him. Spray through the second frag. One-on-one, nade, close, DemQ so low! But Patrick couldn't finish off the job. 11 HP for the man. And Crazy just barely scraped together a 4th.
That's so big. That round weighs so much importance. And the fact is, Jay, those double orbs that have been invested are now gonna hurt them in terms of the money line. That is a massive clutch coming out, and considering how low he was, big round coming out for Crazy. They're going to take a little bit of a tactical, talk things over. I mean, Han and Blocker can go for double orbs again. But let's see if they go for it. I mean, Han especially is going to go for an orb. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to go for the AWP. Blocker, considering that missed shot out from Ivy, might just consider the M4.
Attack pause being allowed a chance here to come to fruition, so now they can rethink their strategy going into this next round. Harsh buy for Fate may tip the favor of Crazy. M4's in. I don't think they can afford the AWP. Don't see any drop weapons for Han here. He can still buy up here, so it looks like he can actually afford the AWP. Never mind. 2 M4s to back up an SMG for Ships. I don't know what Nicky's got. He's got an SCZ actually, so not much for him to work with. Decent amount of utility here to play the defaults for the CT camp. It looks like they'll get aggressive on both ends. Nades up from Blocker. Evades most of the T side, but Toxic tank to 36. DemQ gonna make his way in. Fast execution to the B bomb site. Blocker drops the first. DemQ takes him right back out though. 4 versus 4. And the Orb can't see anything. They've lost 1 and 4 and a bomb plant conceded. Look at how aggressive Cycle wants to get. He wants to take this entire CT line down here from the back lines. He finds himself only 1 frag though. Ships able to find a trade with the SMG. That's money and value gain. Nicky will grab the M4 dropped from Patrick. DemQ on the bomb site. Again, 3v3 retake. There is a defuse kit on the Orper. He needs to play carefully around this. AK picked up from Ships. DemQ spotted out by Nicky. 2 players left as the T's do get suppressed back. Wonderful here towards Upper. They're on the bomb. They're on the bomb. Molotov's coming a little bit too late. He swings out, gets him off. Is that going to be enough to secure it? I think actually it is. Han's nowhere near it. And that is going to be a 5th for Crazy. Heroic plays from Wonderful. He does go down, but he did his job.
Han's the only one with a kit. Why is he not the player that's pushing aggressively? He could have swapped the AWP out with an M4. That's just misplayed, but, well, as a bit of a positive, we do have some fantastic codes for you to use. Malta V15 to get a 15% refill bonus with our fantastic partners of Hellcase. But you've got to think, that was miscomms there from Fate, because the one that was close to the side that tapped the bomb didn't have a kit.
Again, crazy. That's a hell of a round to find. The rifles coming in. The flashbangs over from DemQ straight out. SMG for blocker. Sees one. Does not get the second look. Wonderful. Psycho can find a trade. Nicky gets it back to 2 versus 3. 2 versus, yeah. Man advantage gained by Fate once again. Toxic dealt with as Nicky gets himself 3 frags. Beautiful stuff from him once again. And Sergey is left alone. The Galil. The bomb dropped on the bomb site. Yet to see a plant coming through. The Fate side are moving in against him. He could find a way to work in. Could find an angle here. He's creeped up towards connector. He should not punish Patrick, though. He should go even further and try to find the player with the AK. Nicky seen, sprayed, taken out. Sergey's now got to find the player on the site. They've seen that bomb. They know where the last T-side player is at. The Molotov might force the issue. He's going to try and look for harm. The back line, though, the AWP from CT Spawn deals the damage, deals the kill, deals the 4th out for Fate.
That's a big round. That is an absolutely massive round coming out there from Nicky. And for Crazy, no bomb plant going down is going to make that economy even more rough for them. They probably just don't really have enough to go for the full buy investment. So it's just going to be a pretty harsh eco by the looks of things. And this really could be back and forward, Jay. Certainly, at least what we're seeing so far is very scrappy and sloppy Counter-Strike. And I suppose considering, you know, how late it is at the moment, both teams in with the standard, it's expected. And, well, Ships is just so aggressive at the moment, gives up a free M4.
Easy for Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're back to one of his teammates. They have the 100 HP on the M4. I mean, no one's got Kevlar or helmets, so aim punch will still be a factor regardless, but at least the M4 won't go down quite as quickly.
Oh, wallbang! Let's go.
How did he get that? I think, was he positioned top of the ticket booth? He must have looked up towards upper, correct?
I think he killed him at T-Con, actually. So I think it was just through the wall. I don't think it was a Brown Halls player. Oh! That's a good shot. That's a 3 versus 3. So I'll tell you what, Jay, that's a bomb plant in a round where I don't think Crazy even expected they'd get that much.
That can't be possible, though. Psycho was in popped up when he got that M4. He had to be up in the Brown Halls.
Okay.
Have to take a look at that on demo, but for this round, obviously, Crazy just looking to secure that bomb plant. Get the rifles in. Don't know where the M4's gone. Nicky's going to go hunting for it. And does find it in the end, so... Yeah, I'd like to see the positioning there from Han and seeing how he got that. 3 picks to his name, obviously. Beautiful shooting from the AWP. Unexpected stuff coming in the Brown Halls. But now the buy should come through from Crazy. AKs across the board. I don't think they could buy the AWP. No, Psycho will. Back in the hands of Wonderful. And again, he's doing a great job so far. 10 kills. Top fragger alongside Sergius here at the T side.
That's good to see. You know, the stand-in being able to put up a pretty good performance so far. One thing they certainly need, though, Jay, is rounds at this point. It's been 2 in a row coming out for the Bulgarian side. Taking the AWP out towards Ivy by the looks of things. Rumbo's coming out. Not quite far enough to get Wonderful over Ivy without being seen.
DemQ will be that first casualty to the hands of Nicky. Crazy not having the best of starts when it comes to these opening frags. Toxic going to try change his fortunes here at Pop. Is he going to pop out? Right in the midst of the smoke, flashbang in, gets caught in the face by it. That's going to be a kill for Ships instead. 5 versus 3 scenario, and the T's being outplayed, outmaneuvered, outfragged by Fate at this stage. 2-man advantage for the CT side.
And certainly on the gun rounds, it's been Fate pretty much with all the advantages. I say that a bit of an overextension coming out from Nicky does actually allow a bit of a play in here for Crazy. The problem is, though, they've already been siphoned off. Ships is getting aggressive out through Brown Hall, so they know it has to be an A play at this point.
Ropes into the Orby, seeing one player towards Old Hell, seeing one player pop out from the sandwich position. Smokes down, Serg is going to keep evaded. Patrick and Blocker coming in from two different flanks though, from Pop Dog and from Ivy. They will combine to spray in against the Crazy Cat. Get 6 to the board of Fate. The lead has been gained by the CT side.
And that's what we want to see, the lead going the way of the Fate side. And I tell you what, Jay, I think it's the first time we've actually seen them take the lead. We have seen them tie up the scoreline a fair bit so far on train, but this is the first time we've seen the lead coming out. And it could go even further on the City side, considering the fact that we're not going to be up against a rifle round going into round number 12 for the Ts. And Crazy, upgrading a few pistols, no real utility or armor, so not really too much for them to work with. The best thing, again, if they can get a bomb plant in a round like this, could be absolutely massive.
Indeed, it could well be. AK up, Demq gets dropped. 5-on-4 situation. Fate should get picked apart from here. Nice and easy for Nicky. Toxic alone with the Eagle, 1 versus 5. Does tap up 1. P250, excuse me, I misread that position. Things down on towards Han, so certainly damage there for Crazy, but not enough to do anything in the grand scale of things. It's just going to be HP damage to those players. 1 player on the casualty, and that will be all she wrote. So 7 to 5, Fates looking good. Crazy back up on the buy here.
And they're back with the double AWP setup. Blocker thinking, you know what, it's time to bring it out again. He's got the money line for it, so it's understandable. And for Crazy, they really need an opening advantage. These last few rounds have just really been them getting shut down on the T side. Already 5 rounds, it's not a bad start, but they'll certainly be looking for more. Demq, now we've seen a lot of lurking around this position. Finally, he finds an opportunity, not quite that secondary kill. Just ships, what is going on? How has he been able to find so much without getting traded?
He's done his damage, 1 HP, and he continues to do more and more for him, so wonderful on 2 HP, all in all again, with the man advantage and everything. It works better for Fate. CT side. Kept in position, kept under control here. Minute to go for Crazy before the execution's got to come through, and quick shot from Blocker. Toxic takes ships back. Does double up to a 2 versus 2 now, so Bomb can get recovered and put towards the A bomb site. They've got a player at Old Hell they have to worry about, though, and that will be the main concern here. M4 peeking in. Psycho drops Patrick, and now Nicky, last man standing for the CTs. He's got 2 very low HP players that he could pick apart, so this is a 1 versus 2 that is workable. On towards cross. He's going to rotate.
Well, he saw a player backing out from T-Con, so straight away he thinks it's B, but that actually might not be the most worst read in the world, because it actually is going to be a B play. But now the utility comes out of A. Nicky goes, hang on a minute, no, it is A, but it's B. What's going on, EJ?
Counter rotations are perfect from both sides, especially from Crazy, who gained the upper advantage of the bomb site. And now the retake should be favored by them. Nicky going to realize it's not A. He's got no kit, so he's got very, very little time to make this happen. And yeah, this is going to look to be a 6 for Crazy. So keeping pace on T side, this is what we want to see from them. M4 looks in, checking the site, checking the white train. Top of yellow, I think he saw one towards upper, so now they have the info on where he is. The Incendiary comes back. Doesn't have anything to return to, but at this point they should realize he hasn't got enough time to make it to the bomb site. Tap it once, maybe force a pick back. Keep them alive here, but as soon as they realize that he's not there, they're just going to run. They're going to save, and indeed they will do just that. So 4 players fall, a lot of damage done to the economy basis. 6 to the T side board. Fates will still have a bye.
That's really unfortunate there for Nicky. So he actually saw that bomb crossing, because Psycho had the bomb out from T-Con over to that B bomb site, but he got spotted from Nicky, so it was a smart move to rotate to B, and then, well, the util goes back to A from the player towards Brown Halls, and, well, Nicky, unfortunately, misreading the situation. Now Ships has said, you know what, Blocker, I want to have a go at the AWP, mate. Show me. I'm going to be able to do it. So we'll have to wait and see if Ships can find anything. But this is very quick once again. It's Sergus this time around, and well, it's an opening kill again for Crazy.
2-for-1 trade. Crazy do come out with a man advantage here. The AWP of Han looking for a way back in at the edge of the smoke. Has got a small gap to work with on the default position and continues to press forward. Toxic dealt with by an ADA blocker on site. Gets 2 kills, not quite the third. DemQ to a 2-on-2, and both of the AWPs are left out here for the CT camp. That smoke's about to clear, so they're going to have no cover. Seen below Stopper, still Han gets that frag. Rescope in against DemQ though. He's low HP, so he can find us back to evens again, 1-on-1. AK versus AWP. The bomb's on his back, he can make his way towards B bomb site, and 4 ships on the rotation.
Oh, it all comes down to the mind games. Now he's got a smoke, so potentially DemQ can like fake a B smoke and go down pop dog to A. He's got options. And he's actually not even going to use that smoke. He could plant very aggressively and try and get up close and personal, but what is going on? That smoke and the tap, he's not going to even try and go for the bomb plant. He's going to see if he can force a rotation out.
He's seen him. That's a spray.
Oh,
that is
my
beautifully
goodness.
done from DemQ.
What?
It's a play that makes no sense, as you mentioned, but it works. It's fine. It works. It's cool. Crazy evened up against Fate now, and the buy from the CT side is going to be so awkward.
That was the most uncharacteristic 1v1 I think I've ever seen in Counter-Strike. Like, he had all the options to smoke off Con and get a bomb down a B, but instead he shoots, he throws his smoke, and rather than even thinking about the bomb plan, it forces ships to rotate up. That was strange. That was very strange, but it works in their favor. And I tell you what, Jay, they have got the opportunity of taking the lead going into this second half, considering the buy that Fate have got coming out from them.
But Crazy, this could be a massive half. The scouts out, SMG's in. Cycle's gonna make his way quickly out towards the Ivy position. Han's got his M4 on, sorry, from Archer I should say, on lock. Psycho spotted. Blocker takes out Toxic for 1 good frag. Grabs that AK looking against Wonderful. Wonderful takes him down. 4-on-4. Crazy re-establish the
Psycho.
even standing, but look at ships coming in. 2 players. He only gets 1. Psycho dealt with by Nicky on his own backstab. And there's 1 T-side player creeping around the back lines here towards the A-bomb site. Sergis gets Patrick on Stopper. 2-on-2. Damage done to Han and Wonderful for both sides. Wonderful got the bomb. He's going to plant it open. Nicky gets swing and denied. It's UMP. May get this frag pretty easy. Wonderful spotted and sprayed, and Sergis is left alone here to heaven. Nicky doesn't read it. He's not going to see the man just yet either. Information may have been gained though. Utility to work with on the smoke, and they're going to get towards it. He knows. Nicky going to burst open the window, and he gets the 1 dig as well. Perfectly placed on Sergis, and Fate will claim the 8th going into the second half.
Mate, Nicky has never been known in his career to be a big fragger, but that clutch was insane. A massive triple kill. The fact that he even checks behind him in CT spawn to take down Psycho on the backstab is huge. That deagle shot was insane, and well, Fate, with a buy that they really didn't have the best of, is actually ending up being a round victory for them. Oh, the odds have changed now, Jay. They're not as one-sided as we once thought they would be for Lootbat.
Well, again, this is Fate's map pick. They are in the lead, and going into their T side is where they have to cut the mustard here. But a good effort so far from Crazy, getting us to 8-7 on their T side half is not too bad. Smoke flash for Nicky. And smoke HE for Sergis as well, with the diffuse out the Kevlar across the rest of the CT forces, and there's Kevlar, of course, across the rest of Fate. Raid Boss in particular for Block, who's been dropped 1 P250 by his utility player in Nicky. And quickly into this second half, it's going to be Fate trying to establish their presence and trying to establish their opening kills. They will force CTs away from Ivy, but not much else. The smoke and flash from Nicky is going to decide where the hit's going to come through. He might just fake this towards the B bomb site, especially as Blocker's getting kills back over at Ivy.
That's a great opening from Blocker, and you're right. I mean, Nicky, he can try and see if he can fake this U2 out to the B bomb site, see if they can force rotations out. But it's a good opening coming out from Fate, and, well, it certainly looks like it's going to be an A play and a Fake coming out to B, but for Crazy, they're not rotating yet.
We've got two players out here, and then the blockers lurking. Good kills coming in from the USPs. Drive-by from Toxic. Zerg is getting blocker down. And that's Ivy control taken away. A P250 in their hands. Patrick getting Toxic. Wonderful getting ships now. 3 on 2. Crazy holding off against the hits from Fate. Wonderful pushing in further. Going to see Nikki tap him up, get a 2K. Patrick's got Psycho isolated to 2 HP. Bomb on his back. He'll make his way straight out to the B-bomb site. Try and force them to rotate. Oh, they're going to have their backs turned. Oh, they're going to check this. Patrick's going to try another 300 IQ play. But 20 seconds, time's ticking. They're going to wait for the bomb plot. They suspect he's trying something here, and they're going to be right about this. Patrick can't get to the site in time. Got to go right around his corner, get both the headshots on his Glock. Facing slowly, seeing Wonderful. Sergis, last man standing, getting away alive.
He doesn't have time.
Patrick's got no time.
Oh my goodness.
On the corner, Patrick. Oh my God, the last tick for him. And still got Sergis 25 HP to deal with for his 4K on his clutch. He's got the man in his sights and he gets it. Patrick, the clutcher for Fate, a beautiful play.
Oh my goodness, that was milliseconds. I didn't think he had it. That was absolutely milliseconds. And you could see what Patrick was trying to do. He was trying to bait them out before the bomb went down. And he even tries to take the fight to them, turning it into that 1 versus 1. That was so down to the wire. And Fate, I mean, they need a tactical just to calm down.
They win a tactical here because that was insane. Oh my word. Crazy are going to be disappointed with that. They read the play so well, but as soon as that swing came in and Wonderful went down, it was just like, oh, all that effort gone away. And the force buy coming in from the CT side, as you would expect it. Crazy. Such a great defensive posted up, but just insane stuff from Patrick in a 1-on-3. And this round is unlikely to be able to do anything here for Crazy. I mean, they could still take these pistols back, the scouts and everything. But Matt 10's AKs, Galil's in for Fate. It's looking good for the T's.
That's looking very good. And you've got to think for Fate, you know, they went out this force by anti-eco conversion, and they get a lot of momentum on their T side, get up to double digits. Brownell's control being taken pretty easily. Toxic spotting out a little bit of information. The CT's only playing a single player at B. They are actually going to gamble rotate to this B bomb site, so they're ending up putting 3 players here. And it could actually work out quite nicely, considering the fact that Fate don't really look like they're going to go to A.
And downstairs in from Pop Dog, blocking top of Patrick. Smokes down.
I like this. He could drop the bomb.
Flashes over. Fate slowly creeping forward. DemQ seeing the first man. Can't take him down. Ships pops out. Takes that opening kill. The zone is still here. He's dealt with by Patrick. Next up completely unblinded. CZ gets 1 quick frag to try and stall for time. And Scout still on the site here. Deagle making his way in. Dealt with by Blocker. Scoping not going to make work here for Crazy. So 10 to the board of Fate as they do secure the rifle round. The force buy dealt with. And now Eco's got to come through from Crazy.
And, well, Fate, they're in a really good position. They're in a very good position at the moment to be able to close out this second map of train and try and bring us into Mirage. 6 more rounds is all that they need. And, well, at least their 11th is going to be relatively easy. Not many upgrades coming out through the Crazy side. They do have a HE stack, so maybe see if they can get an 8 stack out towards T-Com. Ooh, Han is so damn low.
2 HP. Ships finding DemQ, getting Toxic as well as they try and stack in, try to take this player out. Again, just rushing to try and get some sort of frag back, and nothing will go their way here for the CT. So, 11-7. And a rebuy coming in for Crazy. The AWP out for Wonderful once again. Now, he has lived up to his namesake. But Crazy need a little bit more out of him and for the rest of their players here to try and get them into contention here. 4 rounds between them and Fate. Fate currently in a pretty decent lead here.
And Psycho, I mean, he was the man that stepped up massively on Nuke, putting up 25 kills. This is his opportunity now. Off to a bit of a slow start on Train to get things going when it matters on the CT side. Outside smokes coming out for the Fate camp, but a little bit of a double pump setup at the moment. Not committing off the back of it. AWP out for both sides, like you said, and for Wonderful, this is his chance to really start to shine now, Jay.
Placed out at the connector area, watching the A and B bomb sites. Popped on control established by Demq. He's got Blocker here to try and keep them at bay, put the smoke down. Try and get the pop dog control as well with his teammate. Mac 10 straight in for Nicky, get dropped by Psycho. 2 plays the focus here. Top dog, he only gets that 1 frag as Blocker finds a trade to a 3-on-3. Wonderful fires blind. Amidst the smoke, Molotov and nade towards him will force him back in. Connector further Molotovs from hell. Sprayed through on Blocker, low. But I don't think low enough here from Sergis. Damage has been done. Ship's on 1 HP. Very tradable player at this moment. It's crazy. Keep their eyes on. He does get that 1 headshot. Wonderful takes it right back to a 2-on-2. Hans got his orb on. Flashbangs over. Good shot. Back from the T side. Toxic at old hell. Dealt with by Blocker. And Fate keep their streaks alive.
That's a big round, and well, they've got no money on the City side, and you've got to think this is really the moment where Fate start to win away with this momentum. Not a single round going the way of the Crazy side in this second half. 4 rounds in a row. 5 if you include the last round of the first half. And it's going to be another eco, Jay. They're giving up more and more rounds to the Bulgarian side.
Speeds out. T-So going to stack their way in. Toxic takes that first casualty. Blocker and Ships opening up the round here. And this is going to be simple. Like, this should just be simple. T-side. Get picked apart by Crazy. Psycho. Ooh, back turn. Nicky. Get caught off guard. That's 1 SMG that will get dropped, but it is only an SMG. The rifles are full stacked and swarm the B-bomb site. They realize that there's no CTs back here. And maybe the Mac 10 from Psycho could catch Ships off guard if Ships did not hear him, and he's going to let him cross, thinking he's into a false sense of security here. He's now going to control connect to allow his teammates to just walk straight in. He knows that there's nothing else here. No need for a utility commitment. Puts him down towards the A-bomb site, and he's seen 2. Awkward spray on the first man, doesn't get the second, so 13 to the board of Fate. There's just no way back here for Crazy.
Yeah, there really isn't. This is going to be one insane comeback if they can bring this forward. Just, yeah, losing a lot of momentum, losing a lot of economy at the moment. And, well, really, we're seeing some pretty low numbers from some of the players. Toxic in particular having a pretty quiet game so far. MQ just hoping that one of the T's overextends so we can maybe pick up a rifle at the end of the round. Flying knife, maybe?
This is the Assassin's Creed player right here. No, nothing gonna get seen. I don't know if he had enough HP. Well, actually, you should have been able to have enough HP to tough it out there in heaven. Like, I don't think the bomb explosion's that far. But that would have been great if he was able to drop in and get a knife to the back. But nah, no rifles for him. No weapon save for Crazy. But the Orbs will get brought down regardless. 2 of them for Wonderful and Demq. Lucky utility for both players, but M4s and full sets across Sergis, Psycho, and Toxic. Got the fuse kits for those players as well. But they need to find a good defensive against Fate. They have not scored a single round here on CT side. Fast plays out. M4 takes 1, but Nicky's so quick on the trade. And Molotovs will go back towards connected. The bomb plant will be secured. Demq is going to try and find something back here with his all but Hans ready to respond. Straight up headshot, 4v3. Crazy maybe tempted to save at this stage because they've got so little money that they could just get conceded to map point here. And yeah, they're out of here. They're going to concede 14 to Fate. They have no choice. They need something to go into the next round with, else they'll be playing for overtime. An 8-round comeback.
man. I mean, look, it is a different map and it is a different team, but earlier on in the best of one, we did see CR4ZY come back from a deficit of 8 to 14 against Hard Legion on Inferno. I mean, even trying to save onto these rifles is going to be a bit of a difficult time. That molly so close to spreading onto those two players. But they should all survive. And you've got to think the save, it's really the only call they could have made there. Like 4-4, then maybe they go for it, but considering they lost that secondary AWP, then they had to save. They've got no other choice. And I don't even know what a tactical pause can bring to them at this point, because all they need is momentum and they need confidence.
Tactical for CR4ZY here. Double ops and M4s in for the CT camp, and Fate respond with their own setup, and the money line that they've got built up here basically just sees buys coming through until they win the match here. CR4ZY need a good few rounds in order to break that economy and start setting up the comeback. Once they get to 10 on 14, I'll give it its leeway, but for now, Fate are looking like they're within a round, possibly, of winning this map and turning us to Mirage. Defaults from Fate straight up towards the apartments. Locker with his bomb will drop it back over. Incendiary's up as Toxic with the M4. Will keep his eyes on Psycho. Will burst up with the M4. Try to do some damage here with the Brown Halls, but dropping in the Pop Dog here. Fate are going to get away from that and take very little in terms of default damage.
And you've got to think for Toxic, you know, he can be really nervous. He's certainly struggled against some of the B rushes, only finding those 1-for-1 kills. And maybe because of that, he's actually asking for a little bit more assistance. Wonderful trying to back him up a B. There is a bit of T-Con aggression coming up. A crossfire being established with the AWP and the M4, but Psycho, he opts out of there. They stop the aggression.
Flash in, Nikki takes out Psycho. Are you surprised at this stage? AWP in for DemQ, can't land his two opportunities. Third one on top of the blue train. Wonderful gets that kill on ships and scopes in on Nikki. That's a beautiful flick. And away, a chance. DemQ blind gets blocker. He's still alive and kicking. So's wonderful. 3 frags to his name. Han left alone to find 3 of his own in a 1v3 clutch scenario. The bomb has been dropped towards the A site. There's 30 seconds for him to work with. Make his way up, scope in towards the site. No, DemQ gets 2, but Wonderful is the man of the moment. 8 to the board of CR4ZY, a survival round if I've ever seen one.
Now, I'm not sure if it's allowed for him or for us to say that it was wonderful to see Wonderful doing that, but that was unreal. That was an insane 3K. We saw DemQ chiming into the action. Yes, he missed a couple of difficult shots to start the round off, but 14-8, the same scoreline that CR4ZY came back on against Hard Legion earlier today. The double orbs out in play for the CT side. Han has got one on the T side. And like you said, Jay, it's going to take a couple of good rounds in a row to try and break the economy here for Fate.
DemQ up here towards this connector position. They get something out here towards the upper areas, and the 5 players of Fate ready to stack straight in. Smoke down and try stall for time. It's not going to stop. Ships making its way out. M4 awkward spray does get that opening kill. DemQ gets blocked with towards Cross. Double up against Patrick. Look towards upper. He knows that that's been uncovered, and there's a T-side player that's there. Gets a leg shot on Han next up. So 40 HP. Tag beyond belief. Incendiaries and flashbangs to stall for extra time, ensure that they can't get a bomb plant, but a 5 versus 2, even if they did, this would probably end up being a round here for the retake of CR4ZY. 3 kills for DemQ as he catches Nikki on the wall bank, and Han left alone in a 1 versus 5.
And well, Wonderful was just trying to see if he could bait him out with the AWP, but swings on the flash coming out. And yeah, look, that was a pretty easy round. That was a great defensive being held at that B bomb site. Such a great crossfire being established from Toxic and DemQ. This could be the start they need, considering the fact that, you know, the economy's now getting lower and lower for the T side. They are still able to get a complete full buy out. and it's the double orbs. That is honestly the crucial element that Crazy need to allow this comeback to come through. The double orbs, they need to be firing on a consistent basis.
They have been doing their damage so far. But when will they drop off? Will they drop off? Will that negatively affect Crazy to the point of them losing the map point? Well, Nicky's tagged up early on here. He's not even the most forward player of the T side. Go for wonderful seas. Ships popping out. He's fire on towards both of those orbs here, the crossfire. And Patrick and Ships kick things off. Wonderful and Sergey's down. Demq needs to land his shots. He misses his one. Psycho dealt with. Blocker will end up falling. Demq still here on site. Ships is hunting for that frag. USP against him could be enough to get the kill. So indeed, Demq doubles up. But a 3 versus 2 scenario. The C's can also make that bomb make his way back out towards the B bomb site. Patrick will still get toxic, and Demq knows that it's a player close here. Nicky swings, gets that headshot, gets his kill, gets his contribution, gets 15 to the board of Fate. And now it is 6 rounds to overtime here for Crazy. 6 map points for Fate. They have done great on the Ukrainian side with a tactical pause to try to see if they can push them back past that finish line.
And this must be like the 3rd or 4th tactical we've seen from Crazy. They really have used pretty much all of them so far. And I mean, that's just the thing, is that they haven't been able to give themselves enough rounds on that comeback, that all it takes for Fate is just that one big round where they find a couple of opening kills, a couple of really nice trades, and well, they're at 15. Man, oh man. To think that Shibs is 1 kill away from being tied at the top of the scoreboard for Fate as a stand-in, and Wonderful is at the top of the Crazy side. That's just... I can't believe we're seeing that.
Crazy got to play survival from here on out. They are up by a map, so they can still contest with their AWP viability. Flashbangs in against Wonderful, shouldn't keep him suppressed. AK in, Psycho drops Ships, kicks things off on the right foot for the CT side. That's what we want to see more of. But Han looking for his trade kill, and the CTs are getting tempted to aggress here. They looking towards that T-con area, but they won't press up for it. Just wait for what comes to them. Demq, however, starting to aggress towards Olaf. I'm not sure I like this here.
Now, Han's certainly going to be reading that the aggression's going to come out in some sort of way or fashion. Oh, the timing on Blocker, but the spray. Oh, Demq finally opens up. It's a 1-for-1. Han needs to find more with this ZWP, and I think he saw the shadow. Yeah, he's seen the information.
Psycho getting on top of the train, though. Backs a turn from both players, no! And Han's going to see him. Just turn around in time. Not sure how he saw him, whether he checked it or whether he saw the shadow, but either way, a 3 versus 3 as they continue to move into A. Spray from CR4ZY won't catch the players. Won't catch any of the men here. AWP for Wonderful still watching out from the cross. The flashes come over, and Nicky and Han are suppressed for the moment. 24 seconds, and the AK in the back line dealt with, leaving it all to the AWP. Han peeking up, seeing the shot. Does connect it to Wonderful, though, so back to evens will go. CR4ZY deals with Nicky, so now it's all left to Han. Low HP, can't make his way in. He's going to get out of dodge, save the AWP. And Crazy, not quite dead yet. They are hanging on by a thread. But 5 rounds to go to that overtime here.
Okay, here we go. Looks like we've got a bit of a second map on our hands. The comeback from Crazy. 5 more rounds for overtime. 1 for Fate to take us to Mirage. Okay, let's see what we've got here. And honestly, I'm looking at Han. This AWP needs to be able to find opening kills, needs to be able to find trades. He's done so far for most of this first half. Nicky in particular has actually been performing at a very high level. And he tried to go for something risky and it didn't pay off.
At this point, Fate needs to go for something risky here because Crazy is starting to catch up, and that threat of overtime is real. First kill found. Are they going to go back for that AWP? I'm sure Demq knows. Ships tagged the 10 points of health. If he puts that nade on T-con now, Go on, mate, you know you want to. It's so tempting, but Blocker just phases through the smoke here at Pop Dog. Drops to the secondary kills, so 5 versus 3 in Fate. They're not looking good right now.
Demq was like, oh, hello, didn't expect a player to be there. A 5-on-3 advantage coming out for Crazy, and you're right. You know, single nade onto that T composition is probably going to take ships down. Now, Fate need a bomb plant. Like, yeah, they need a round, but you look at the current scenario where they're on a 3-on-5 and their economy is not looking great. They are desperate for a bomb plant. Nicky's been seen, and even a bit of damage done to him. So low now for both Nicky and Ships.
That Pop Dog challenge, those Pop Dog challenges were very poor, I feel like, from Fate. One by one they face. One by one they fall. Ships will get an exit frag. Drop in for Patrick. Does damage to Psycho, but wonderful. And Psycho combined for those last 2 kills, therefore. 4 alive for Crazy. And we are still on for OT. We are still on for this 2-0 from the Crazy camp. 4 rounds to go, and this will be an eco from Fate.
So they're going to get a gun round in 28 and 30. It will be an eco on 27 and an eco on 29. So really, we're looking at this comeback and thinking Fate have got 2 chances. They've got 2 gun rounds, and those are their chances. Man, think of the pressure that's building for this Fate side too. The fact that a Crazy with a stand-in is bringing this comeback through, and well, they're facing elimination if they don't win this map.
No, absolutely they are. Oh, that nade. Well, not as much damage as you would have thought, but I digress. Do overwhelm Toxic with that with those pistols. Wonderful will respond with his own AWP pick and a second kill on Nicky. Bomb plant will be secured here. His ships gets Demq. Psycho gets ships back. So quite a bit of damage done to the CT line. Han burning. Glock will move forward. And Psycho is very susceptible to this kill, but Blocker's going to go down. Edge of the smoke. Timing's everything. Position's everything. Wonderful gets that 3rd frag. There you go. Crazy do concede a bomb plant, but again, they get their main rifles out so they can hold on to contention here against the Fate reinvestment, which is coming through here. 5 grand on the float. Therefore, the AKs, the AWP should come through. Tech pause called, though. Once again, we have had a couple of issues over the course of the day for Fate and Crazy. Crazy, of course, having Wonderful to stand in for them because, you know, they kind of need... obviously, they had some issues with Sensei. A small moment's respite here again, just to fix those issues. Will that break Crazy's momentum, though, is the question.
And you've got to think for Wonderful, you know, he's probably sitting there, you know, playing a couple of pugs tonight, you know, chilling at home. The last thing he expected was a call up from Crazy to say, mate, can you stand in? That would be the last thing on his mind. And, I mean, honestly, you know, let's just say Crazy loses best of 3. Wonderful is just, he's shown so much presence. He has really impressed me. A 15-year-old kid from the CIS region that I've never heard of before, only ever played a single best of 3 on record last month against this Crazy side. And man, like, he's doing really well. It's certainly not seeing nerves from him, you know, especially stand-ins, you know, really unknown players. A lot of the time you can, you know, see the jitters, you know, they're nervous. They haven't, you know, they weren't expecting to play, things like that. But he's come out of the gate firing on all cylinders, leading the kills in terms of the server at the moment.
24 kills in 27 rounds. That is impressive. And again, for a player who we came into this thinking to ourselves, oh dear, this is going to go horribly for Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's going fantastically for Crazy. Contesting on this map, which they shouldn't contest at all. And Fate. Rifles out the AWP for Han. The 8Ks in across the entire T-side board. 2 AK save with the AWP of Wonderful now. Placing Sensei and doing a fantastic job. But 3 rounds for Crazy still to go. They have to go quite the distance. Look at the aggression from Toxic, taking Blocker, dropping the bomb. Big information play, big man advantage play, and Crazy just happy to fall back off that.
And here comes the confidence. Toxic. I mean, considering the fact they're down 12 to 15, you would not expect to play that aggressively. And well, it works out fantastic. Sees that bomb, gets the information. 3 players trying to walk out from Ivy of the T side. And it's only one to try and defend, and it's Sergis around the corner.
Spray through, blinding against Nicky, does damage to 19 HP. Don't think he knows he tagged him. He's ready for ships around that corner. Good headshot. 4 versus 4. Nicky continues to press up towards Olaf. Gonna secure the line in from T-Con. Is very passive on the A defensive. B is the stack. The AWP of Wonderful is there, and Nicky catches Demq, not looking towards T-Con. 45 seconds remaining, and the Molotov against Wonderful, followed up by a smoke down by the T side. So that extinguishes it, gives him that positional advantage, but the plant will be secured to 4 versus 3 in Fate. Maybe 40 seconds away from securing this map.
No, they certainly might be. This is a great advantage for them to work with. And that man advantage, there is a little bit of utility on the CT side. And Toxic, he's got to come up big. Oh, the spray finally connects onto ships, but they need to follow up, and they're doing it so far. The man advantage coming through. They can get a smoke into that bomb. Someone needs to stick it, Jay.
Psycho's got to get there and protect from the Ivy position. Nicky there, Han blind. All that's left is Toxic as Han doubles up, and Fate take us to a 3rd map. 16 to 12 on the execution. Crazy came so close, but no cigar. Map 3 of the day, of this series, and of this particular group stage. You'll see the final map be Mirage, and a battle we expected. A battle is what we'll see.
Mate, that's insane. That's really down to the wire, and that's Fate just pulling ahead, and it comes off the back. You know, they get a good first half. They won out the pistol. They had a great streak of rounds. Yes, we saw a comeback coming out from Crazy, but all it came down to was just a couple of mistakes, and, well, we're getting 16 rounds up for the Fate camp. And, well, I'll tell you what, you know, it seems like both teams are finally at the same advantage. You know, a stand-in for the Fate camp in that first map, now a stand-in for Crazy on the second. Looks like going into a third, this could be anyone's game.
It seems like it really could be, mate. And honestly, given the circumstances that we had there for the Fate camp, given the fact that they, you know, were absolutely decimated over on Nuke, the fact that they were, you know, contested so closely on Train, on their map pick, Wonderful's addition to this team has been absolutely ridiculous. Like, you know, I won't make the pun of them being wonderful, but just... I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't expecting that. That could have been crazy. A couple of good rounds going their way. We could have been seeing overtime. We could well have been seeing a 16-14 win for the Crazy Camp.
Yeah, we certainly could have. It comes down again to, you know, just back and forward rounds, and unfortunately them just not pulling ahead. But you're absolutely right. Wonderful was able to perform at a very high standard, and one that I don't think was expected for him to perform at the level he did. And look, going into Mirage, you know, that might be a little bit more free for him. You know, they might say, you know what, do what you want. You know, don't restrict him. Let him play his own game.
And his AWP out may be valuable to them on Mirage here. It's our final map of the day, and by the end of it, either Crazy or Fate will be going to the playoffs. So stick with us here. We're back after this very short break for our final map of this best of 3 and our final map of Group B.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Woo, damn! That was one of the best tickle fights I've been to.
Welcome back to Malta Vibes. We're getting into our last map of this best of 3 and our last map of Group B. If you're just joining us, you would have thought that it would have been a mercy killing over on Nuke for a 16-9 victory over to the favor of CR4ZY. Not to be, though, as Fate do come back on their map pick, but it did not go without its issues there. CR4ZY, the introduction of Wonderful, somehow managing to turn it to a 16 to, I believe it was 12 or 11 or so. Very, very close scoreline coming in from the CR4ZY camp, but actually able to take a map that you wouldn't have thought there. 16-12 in the end for Train. Mirage is our last map of this series, and of course, a lot of questions up in the air about this one, Dwayne. First of all, is Sensei back right now for CR4ZY? You said that you saw him on the server logs. I can't see him in the game right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure like if that's even advisable at this stage for this team, because Wonderful had such a lights out performance there on for CR4ZY.
Yeah, look, he certainly did. I think he fell in the role of Sensei really nicely. We saw him being able to find a lot of impact with that AWP. He's finding a lot of trade kills, and he you know, there was a couple of times that he was able to be in those clutch scenarios. Obviously, the first pistol out of the game, he certainly would have been very nervous, and it started things off on the T side with a 3K on the pistol to clutch out a 1 versus 1 in the end. So, look for Waterfalls. Or Wonderful, I should say, not Waterfalls. Another player in the CIS region, but no, for Wonderful, you know, very impressive. I don't. Obviously, we don't have complete confirmation of whether he's going to come back for that last series, but if he doesn't, Jay, I really would like to see more from this kid. You know, only 15 years old. They've certainly, like teams like Navi Junior and Gambit Youngsters have shown that some of the young talents can come up in the CIS region, and maybe he's one to follow.
I definitely feel like in a similar sort of fashion to what we were saying with like Ships being the main man to sort of like carry Fate out of some very tragic scorelines for the course of the day. I do feel like Wonderful did the same thing there over on Train. For me, I don't think CR4ZY would have had nearly half as good a map without Wonderful. So, you know, like, credit to the kid. Obviously, he's having a fantastic day today, and I really think that it's advisable right now for CR4ZY just to field him as their temporary stand-in here for this map. I'm not sure if the rules state they have to swap him. They have to try to see if they can get Sensei back in as soon as possible, at least in this third map. But you know, given let's just operate on the assumption that Wonderful is going to be playing this matchup just for the time being, just for the sake of example, just for the sake of argument here. Mirage is our final map to wake. Now, it obviously was the deciding map of the series. We wasn't even sure if we were going to get here. At certain points, we thought CR4ZY were going to 2-0 this. They were on a severe comeback hype train. But now going into this map, what do we think about this map here? Okay, sorry. Let's so let's forget the assumption that Wonderful will be playing. You've got official confirmation. Wonderful will be playing in this matchup. So now that we have that information, let's talk about Mirage, Dwayne. You want to see more freedom from Wonderful. Tell me why.
Yeah, look, I certainly think you don't really want to restrict a stand-in, especially if they're playing well. Like, if a stand-in, he's not really having the best of performances, then, well, the best bet is for him to play a position that best suits the team. But considering how well Wonderfuls was able to play on that map of Train, give him a bit of freedom. Just say, right, here's the AWP, we will back you up. If you want to flash, go for it. If you want to peek, go for it. And give him the freedom to just do what he wants, because we've certainly seen that he's got the talent for it. And often, you know, using a stand-in and letting him play his own game can actually benefit you because you don't exactly know how he plays.
No, absolutely not. And, you know, just giving that extra little bit of breathing room certainly was favourable to Wonderful, I think. You know, having him on the AWP, you know, we were questioning it, obviously, because, you know, having to swap to an AWP is such a big specialist role. So having that filled in by a stand-in is usually questionable. I think that can be mitigated by the fact that, yeah, it was Sensei that he's filling in for, and now he'll be filling in for him again. But on the AWP, man, like, you know, if he's given the chance to take Sniper's Nest control or just push aggressive to the apartments, I could see that AWP doing such amazing damage for that CT side. And even for the T side entries, you know, we saw quite a bit from Wonderful out on the CT half is where he really shined. I don't know how this T side is going to go. I think that Mirage can certainly highlight T sides better than Train, though. So, you know, if he's got any talent there on the offensive, then I think it will be brought out here on that T side half.
Yeah, I mean, look, Train's certainly going to be an interesting one because, Mirage from Train, I should say, because, look, Mirage is a very, like, even playing field map. You know, there's not exactly, like, I would say one side is very much heavier favored, like, whether it's CT or T, than someone like Train where it's, you know, pretty heavily favored towards CT side. So, look, for Mirage, again, for both these teams, they're both playing in with stand-ins, so it's not the best of situations. It's certainly not the best of circumstances, but you have to adapt and you have to realize, right, going into this third map of the series, it all lies on this. Like, yeah, it's like 2:30 in the morning now in the Ukraine, but you got to put that aside you, because this is the map that either puts you into the playoffs or doesn't put you into the playoffs.
And Crazy definitely want to get to those playoffs again. This is their first appearance in the Malta Vibes sort of weekly system, essentially. So, you know, this is going to be their big opportunity, of course, to put down the likes of Fate, who, of course, were in there last week. They didn't make it out of the group stage, and that'll be another disappointing performance for them. But speaking of disappointing performances, you know, obviously, Train looked much better from Fate. I wanted to ask if there were any major issues from those guys that may end up kind of hurting them going into Mirage, because it was their map pick. They got stomped on Nuke. They had a very close affair on their own map pick of Train. You know, it's still been a hard graft. You know, Crazy put up a fight against these guys.
Yeah, look, I mean, overall, I was pretty impressed from Fate. Like, they put up a pretty good performance on Train. Yes, they allowed a few rounds to come towards the back end of that, but I certainly think that was just Crazy playing with a bit of confidence and kind of playing with a no fear, respect kind of style. So, look, jumping into the knife round, Jay, I certainly was not worried at all from Fate in that last map, and I don't think I will be going into Mirage. And I honestly don't know which way is this going to go, because, again, you know, to mention it, both teams have got a stand-in. It's not something that we see every day, Jay.
Of course, it should end up to being a pretty decent epic match here, for my liking at least. It's an epic match that is brought to you by Gaming Malta. Malta Vibes is brought to you by Home of Gaming Excellence. Random themselves the prize pool, and of course the boot camp available for the teams that make it and take the victory in this week's tournament. So let's get some predictions. I know you said it's very difficult to call here, Dweg, but based on what you've seen so far, given the fact that Fate are starting on CT side, given the fact that Crazy have a stand-in for Wonderful, given the fact that Fate have a stand-in of Ships, where do we see this map going? Like, how do we feel about the performance of these two teams? Who do we think is going to get the victory here?
Yeah, look, I certainly feel as if Crazy have probably got the upper hand. Certainly, Ships has been able to put up a pretty good performance as a stand-in so far, but Wonderful's, like, if he can play the same kind of style of Counter-Strike that we saw from him on Train, that would be a big advantage. And, well, the odds not quite favoring the Crazy side. 1.66 for the Fate camp. If you want to get those odds, head over to our fantastic partners over at Lootbait. You'll be able to find the links in the Twitch description below. But I'm going to go Crazy on this one. And maybe I'm going a little bit crazy and going for that protection.
Not the first time you've gone crazy, though. Let's be real here, Blake.
Yeah, that is true. It is true.
Oh, man.
Just go with Fate, mate, so we're split. And then I can prove you wrong after.
It's such a difficult one to call,
It is.
Man. It's... Because, like, I'm still thinking about the slump situation from Fate. I'm still thinking about
that's what's on my mind. Yeah.
And I'm thinking about Crazy and what they've been able to do. And they've had, you know, some good maps in the past. You know, they're able to beat Skade, which obviously is a big, you know, Bulgarian team to beat. You know, certainly better than the likes of Fate. Certainly having the same sort of playstyle as Fate. But honestly, I think Fate have been looking much better than we've seen from them in the past. You know, they've certainly not had as bad T-sides as we've seen from several different opportunities, but they have also had some very tragic results today. Oh, I'm going crazy. Let's go Crazy. And let's see if they will take this T-side. Let's see if they'll take this map and this best of 3. It's our final map of the night here for Malta Vibes. And Crazy will set themselves up here for an A-site hit. Smoke down towards Connector. Immediately going to storm straight forward. Spams coming in from Patrick will do damage. He'll get that first kill on Psycho. Blind through the smokes. Ship's going to get surged, even though he does a ton of damage to Nikki in the jungle area. 5 versus 3. Crazy have been pushed off the site, but they have secured a plant open to Connector, and all 3 Ts are held back at CT and Palace.
Well, they tried to get aggressive in towards that jungle area and they got shut down for it, and now the bomb plant is super awkward for the T side. They need to find a couple of nice kills. That's a good opening coming out there from Toxic. Into the 3 versus 3 we go. Nikki's incredibly low, and with the CT side, they had a good opening to the round, but they've just not been able to find any of these kills on the post plant, and Nikki's out of there. He doesn't want anything to do with that retake.
6 HP. doesn't really have a chance there. He would have gotten taken down by the next bullet. Oh, that's crazy. Missed every single one of their bullets, and that's just not likely there. Good pistol coming in from the T's. A beautiful start from the Ukrainians. And a way to get started again to overwhelm the A-bomb site. It looked so awkward there, the 5 versus 3, but the trades went really well for Toxic. 2 kills to his name as he peeked in from the stairs area and just kind of picked them apart. Nice, simple first there. And again, the rebuys coming in. We'll see the force ups from both teams. The better buy here for Crazy. The SMGs, Scouts, and Deagle plays in from Fate. Utility out towards the B-bomb site this time. They're playing out to the apartments here.
And you got to think for Fate, they've got to see if they can just find an opening kill. And great map control being found from Crazy as they get Sergers up towards into Connector. And getting a little bit of information of that short player and trying to force him back. And well, that's a good opening coming out from Wonderful. There is a 1-for-1 trade though. And will that B-bomb sites open up? This should probably be a save coming out from Fate. Oh, look at this position from Toxic as well.
Yeah, blocking him, be dead there through the murder hole. Chip's going to grab that 1 kill on Psycho and just get out with the Galil. Actually, walk right into the hands of Sergis, who takes him right back. So the rifles can stay in for the T side. Patrick with his SMG, the last player left standing, looking the wrong ways at the wrong times, being challenged from Sniper's Nest. The Galil standing by. Sergis ready to pick this player apart, sees him, shuts him down. And Patrick seeing the Mat 10 a hair too late there. 2-0 for Crazy. Fate down to the eco and a very confident follow-up there from the T side.
And that's what we want to see from Crazy, the follow-up coming out even when the force buy comes through. Now, we have seen a few Zeus kills today, Jay. We certainly have seen a few over the course of these best of 3s. I want to get your quick prediction now. Will Patrick strike or blocker?
We've seen 1 Zeus kill so far today, so my bet's on no.
I'm hoping. I'm absolutely hoping. And well, there is a little bit of a stack at this B-bomb side. Oh, it's not a Zeus, but it's a knife. It's a knife. Let's go.
That's going to be money and a free SMG. Yeah, it's an SMG, so it's not too much. If it was an AK, though, that would be beautiful. Patrick's known here towards the A-bomb site, dealt with by Sergis. He is pretty low alongside DemQ. Wonderful getting Nicky next up. And the USP here for Blocker, seeing 1 player over at Connector, could not quite land it. SMG here of Han is going to get dealt with, so he pays for his cheeky knife shenanigans. And Blocker is left alone in the 1 versus 4. The bomb plant will be secured, and this will be a 3-0 start for Crazy here.
Well, they do some pretty good damage, but unfortunately, only a single kill coming through. Tell you what, that knife attempt actually, like, really helps the money line. Han in particular, considering he's the AWPer, I mean, that's an absolute gift. He can get the AWP out, armor, utility, the whole works. The big brekkie, Jay.
Big brekkie indeed.
At 2 o'clock in the morning. Nothing better than a big brekkie. Yeah.
Hey, look, man, some of us work on 24-hour cycles. It works.
That is true, yeah.
Many a breakfast at 2 a.m. Don't worry about it. Orps in, M4's out, AK's Galil on 2 players at DemQ and Psycho. Patrick, edge of the smoke. Is DemQ going to see him? I don't think he will. Dindieri's down, Blocker straight out, bursting from DemQ, sees Patrick and drops him, so 4 versus 4. He's got Toxic in the back lines to support him. The AWP scopes up, drops that bomb immediately with Ships coming up with a trade, doubles up in his own right, and the AWP missing its shot on DemQ, so can secure a 2K up for a 1 versus 3, 4K clutch overall, and he's going to make his way back to the B-bomb site here. His best bet is to rotate through the apartments, and Ships knows this. He's going to account for it very quickly. This AK in for the CT side. DemQ's going to be ready for it. Checking out mid, rotating out. They're going to hear these footsteps, though. They have all the info to work with.
Yeah, Ships would have heard that, and he can call Nicky over for a little bit of assistance out through the underpass position. The thing is, though, is, well, there's actually no one at B at this point. The Ships is going to be the quickest one there, I would say, out from short. Oh, Nicky, the timing. Oh, that's so big. 1 HP, man.
Oh. Just coming up with the headshot.
Yeah.
Just coming up with the kill. And there it is, first on the board for Fate. It's Crazy, go very aggressive very early on. And the trade game was fantastic there from Ships. Of course, keeping all the control. That's a very weird spray. That is.
Yeah, I haven't I've not seen
Eat
that one before.
me. The bomb telling you to eat me. That is.
What's going on here?
No, I don't know. That's. Yeah. All been full wonderful here. M4's AKs across the T-side board. Into the sniper's nest and the low position for Psycho at this stage. The M4 of Han. With the M4 the same, the flash is over, the smoke's down, a little bit mid-control, but very passive stuff coming in from Crazy, not swinging out for an opening kill this time. They're going to wait for Fate to come to them.
And one thing that Crazy have done a pretty good job at, Jay, so far on the T side of Mirage is getting a lot of this mid-control. It's been very passive from the Fate side. We haven't really seen too many players get aggressive and try and take the fights out through mid. The Blocker's getting a bit of an idea that just maybe someone has made their way into this window room position. But it's going to be the split up to the A bomb side. Now they've got a player out towards Palace undetected at this point.
Player in cubby, it's Blocker, ready to swing, ready to take out one.
Oh.
The second player peeks right in. The timing couldn't have gone worse there. M4 still looking around for a kill. Ships gets one. Patrick gets a response here towards Firebox. He does drop to DenQ with a 1 versus 3 now on his hands. Another clutch scenario here for Crazy. And Faye have the bomb dropped out from jungle. They know it's there. They know he has to challenge him. He hasn't got much utility here, so this flashbang will try and force the fake. We'll get that one headshot. Nicky responds from the jungle area. And there it is, a second round on the board for Fate. Nice and simple from them. And again, it was down to this spray down. Psycho, crucial mistakes on his part there.
And I'll tell you what, in terms of the gun rounds, we're seeing really impressive stuff coming out from Fate. And it's come down to Crazy a couple of times now to try and clutch out scenarios. Now, at least they're limiting the economy from Fate because, well, Ships and Patrick are going to be on MP9s. Not too much of a bind to come out for the Crazy side. They've got an AK to work with, some upgraded deagles, and a little bit of armor. But all in all, this really should be Fate tying the scoreline at 3 apiece. I say that, but DemQ actually finds an opening out for A.
Quickly traded back here by the CT side. The M4 and SMG getting an AK for the trouble. 3 players left for Crazy. A little bit of money gained, of course, by the SMG kill. And the AK of Nicky watching out. More Toxic, the player, going to make his way out from the apartments. The P250 spotted and sprayed. And the Fate side should know what they're going to have to deal with here. It's the bomb plant to be secured here, and that would be enough. It's the AWP kill on Wonderful. Bomb gets across, and actually it's going to be the end of them before they can even get it out of the apartments. Blocker with 3 good kills and the aggressive force here towards the B site. 3 all now for Fate and Crazy. And rebuys from the T's. Should not see the AWP just yet. Wonderful not allowed to get up on the offensive and start putting boots to asses there with the big green gun.
And you've got to think for Crazy, there needs to be something. There needs to be something quick. I mean, they've taken mid-control pretty much every round, but they're not finding these opening kills of Fate. Look at the aggression actually coming out from mid. They're going to try and deal with this and put Han very aggressively with this AWP. He needed to hit that opener.
Couldn't find it. M4 in for Blocker. Toxic takes him down. Good start for Crazy, but Psycho's on 7 HP. Ships will take down Toxic, the highest player. Nade on, he's done. 4 versus 3. And another swing in from Ships. Almost dropped the kill on Wonderful. Missed out the headshot, but does do the damage. 3 versus 3, and Patrick's now moving in for his own backstab here from Palace. He'll hear these footsteps. He knows they're coming in. 2 players making their way out. Probably going to read on the fact that there's a Tetris player there as well. And the timing is going to be a little bit off, but he has the info for his teammates. Nade on, that's damage done. That's continuing press up here. The Incendiary's back. Han with his AWP scoping out, but the T's going to make their way inland. And again, the continuing backstab from Patrick. Just got to time well. He could line up all 3 of them. They're so bunched up. They're so susceptible to kills. Patrick in by CR4ZY. That's a big frag to find. But Han's going to try and back to 2 on 2, dropping 1 man on shore. Han takes a face, gets Wonderful for a 2K. And DemQ 1 on 2, left as the last man left alive for Crazy.
I can't believe that that flank gets taken down. CR4ZY, that's such a great angle to try and deal with the backstab. And DemQ Now, we've seen that he's been put in these positions before. He actually wants to push forward. If he takes down Nicky, he could try and go to B side quickly, but he's running out of time. And Han, he's in CT. He could shut this all down.
Flashbang, doesn't catch the AWP blind, and Han will get his 3K. MQ just didn't really have many choices right there. He couldn't go back through short or through underpass. It would have taken too long. It's a hope that flashbang caught him blind. It just didn't. It just didn't there. 4-3 now. Fate in the lead. Quite a significant lead at that. The eco halfway coming in from Crazy. It's set to expand here from the CT camp.
Oh, great shot coming out from Hunt. That's incredibly quick. And well, I'll tell you what, Jay, Fate are actually firing out of the gate so quickly after losing that pistol round. This is now going to be 5 rounds in a row from them. And they're looking great. They're looking very, very dominant at the moment. And it's honestly, there has been so many rounds where Crazy have just been left to clutch and just not successful in doing so. I mean, yeah, the clutches are certainly difficult, but for Fate, they've been able to find opening kills, mid-round kills, slowing it down pretty slowly, and well, that's a team ace. Everyone gets a kill. How nice is that, Jay?
Very nice indeed.
I like to see that.
It's that ultimate sign that everyone's contributing right now for Fate, and
absolutely.
I guess you could say that to a certain extent. You have got your bottom fraggers and Nicky and Patrick, but for the most part, the kill spread still pretty even by comparison to where Crazy are at. They've had their first 3 rounds. They've been unable to follow suit with a good rifle victory. Crazy would probably be better off getting this next rifle round in. They kind of need one above Fate soon. Let this Mirage map spiral out of control, and all that effort they put into trying to beat them out on train would all go to waste. Fast play in to the A-bomb site. Flashbang over smokes down a connector block. Still got jungle entrances. Patrick on site, dealt with by DemQ. And Psycho takes blocking down to a 5 versus 3.
And just raw angels, that's really what it is. And unfortunately for Fate, they just weren't in the right positions. The timing was not there in checking the Palace position rather than kind of swinging out towards Sandwich, and wow, that round's over. This round is absolutely over from Fate. There's no way they can even think about a retake in a 2-on-5. Not a single point of damage done to the T side, and I don't think they were expected by that. It wasn't really a smoke execution. It was kind of just off the back of a couple of flashes and just run out.
Just felt like Fate weren't looking the right ways at the right times. Like you even see that final kill on that Deagle player. Kill coming in from the CT spawn. Psycho with his 3K. He just wasn't looking the right way as the flashbang came through. SMG of Nicky to get an exit frag against MQ. Sees the man, takes damage. HE's on, but no frag is going to be gained by Fate. So Crazy. More rounds like that would do well. Themselves the cash available here. And if you have some cash, then you could potentially go to Hellcase and get yourself some 6 skins with it. You've got 50% refill bonus for using the code MaltaV15. MaltaV for some bonus money as well to add on to your fat stacks. You can get some of the skins you're seeing right now in the game as well. Some of them are very, very cool indeed. But,
not that one, though.
Not that one. That's a bad example.
Definitely not that butterfly. We don't like that. Get it out of there. And, well, for Han, I mean, at least his AWPing ability, you know, it brings up the fact that his butterfly, not the best, but look, going into round number 10 for Crazy, they're just looking for a response at this point, and well, that is a good opening. Spam through the smoke. May have just seen a little bit of information as he swung in on the edge. And for Fate, it looks like now they want to aggress. They want to try and get this information back and bring it into an even playing field.
5-on-4, down the queue. Dealt with by Patrick. That's a response back to the A-bomb site. And that's basically your A-bomb site open entirely here. Only that one player contesting from the Palace entrance and from the ramp area. And Crazy going to make their way back out towards the ET spawn. Going to try and push forward here towards that A-bomb site. 2 players to defend against them here. And Patrick's going to re-aggressive for Palace. He can find another big backstab.
Thing is that T-side are pretty silent at the moment, so he's unfortunately not really going to hear any information in terms of footsteps. This timing, though. Oh, he's done it before. Oh, he knows he's dropped that bomb. 30 seconds left. This is a really struggle now for Crazy. They need to get onto the site, and this is going to be a gamble stack. They know. They absolutely know at this point.
Two players now rotating out, one from CT, one on site itself. Big shot missed from the AWP. They're still dealing with Patrick. Hahn gets wonderful, drops that bomb, and Patrick moves in as Psycho goes down, and CR4ZY from Connector is not bound for this world. 6 on the board of Fate, and CR4ZY in full control till the trade came in, the backstab punished, and Fate can extend their lead to 2 again.
And considering the fact that CR4ZY had won the pistol round and went up 3-0, they have really let this lead slip. And certainly struggling at the moment on this T side, not really finding too much success. One thing, at least in the rounds that they were winning, they were able to find some really easy mid control. It seems like for Fate, they've just started pushing a lot. We've seen even ships starting to wide swing out from short. They're starting to push ramp and palace. So they're looking for a lot of information at the moment. And look at the aggression behind this smoke.
Blocker's right there. Demku has no idea. No idea. He does spray, does do damage, no kills. Now that's Patrick to clean house. This round's over in an instant. CR4ZY, no idea what was about to hit him, and it hit him like a freight train.
Oh my goodness. This is done. The CR4ZY has got like nothing he could do. Getting naded down. He's just so low. 32 points of health. Man, oh man, did those kills coming quickly out from ramp. And I'm getting really worried now for the CR4ZY side. Fate are looking damn dominant. They've certainly come into their own. They've got AKs up on the City side, 4 AKs and an AWP to work with going into round 12.
That is how you know the CT side is doing something right, okay?
Absolutely.
When they have the full-blown T side setup, which you can't buy on CT side in case you're new here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've probably got some new viewers here, so it's a fair enough comment.
This puts things into perspective, I feel like, for Fate, you know?
It does. I mean, you really don't see maybe 1 or 2 AKs at most, you know, especially if a team's on a streak, you can kind of understand that. But 4 AKs and the AWP is an absolute rarity. And it's something that the CTs can kind of be rubbing their hands together saying, oh, yes, we are the T side on CT.
And that's concerning for CR4ZY, considering they've got full-blown sets of head. Kevlar, wonderful, could have sacrificed his to play a HE. In general, CR4ZY are going to have to struggle against the firepower of the CT side. The flash is over. CR4ZY is going to make his way out towards this stack here on top mid. Looking for an opening kill, looking for some kind of way in, some sort of opening kill, which has got them rounds in the past. You know, CR4ZY were looking so good on the entry frags and spiraling those rounds out of control. Haven't seen that from them for a while, but Demku does strike onto Hahn first. CR4ZY gets blocker next up a connector, and suddenly A side's open into 5 versus 3, making it 2. As ships falls on shore, and Fate, surely they should save their last 2 weapons from here.
What's CR4ZY's doing, man? He's so low. And he's like, yeah, I'll just push into jungle. There might be someone there, but I reckon I can kill him. But that's one thing that we've seen time and time again from CR4ZY, not even in this best of 3, but so far today. The fact is that sometimes they just lose rounds out of nowhere, and then they win a round out of nowhere. 5 players staying alive, and you think, how are they in a deficit after just watching that round?
CR4ZY's main issue, I think, from these rounds has been the fact that they get these confident stances, but they don't tend to follow up on it as confidently, so...
Well, you say that. That's actually what we saw from Fate on the first half of Nuke. Do you remember that, when they got 4 rounds on CT? And the rounds we saw, we were like, oh yeah, you know, they're pretty good, but they were all singular. And that's a really great point, you know, bringing that over to Mirage. It's certainly what we're seeing at the moment. Yes, you could say they got a streak of rounds of 3 in a row to start the map off. But you're right, all the rounds they've won outside of that have been singular. They have not been 2 in a row, or more. And Fate now going for double orbs. They go, you know what? We're not going to allow you to go 2 in a row.
Rebuy can come through. The economy's looking better for CR4ZY though, so a bomb plant to secure a rebuy if they win this next round. Warp in for ships, small gap there at the apartments. We'll scope out. I think they heard those scopes, so they should realize the AWP is there. Will it force aggression elsewhere on the map? Hahn's there in connector, I think they know that. Oh, that smoke doesn't land quite right, and Han can take out Psycho. Gap to the left-hand side, and that's an opening kill for the CT. Second kill for Ships. Double AWP works perfectly for Fate. 5 versus 3. Ships so wants to make it 2. He knows another player out there. He's got backup as well moving into the apartments. Nicky could find his next kill. Toxic does take him down. But a 4 versus 3, still Fate hold the advantage.
And honestly, sometimes it comes down to the smallest mistakes that you get punished for. The fact that that top connector smoke does not land properly allows the opening kill to come through. Then Ships is able to find one at the apartments. Does peek back in to actually give a 3-on-3 up for the crazy side. Oh, the backstab's coming out, though, from Patrick. So they know it has to be a B play, and that's why there's already 2 players here. In saying that, Sergus is going to say the A bomb side's clear. Oh my goodness, they're going to go back. They're going to know the A is clear. But the fact is, they've heard the rotations now.
Patrick's going to cut them off. This is round over.
Oh,
unless they take him down, this is going to be round over. They've not checked top mid. Easy frag. Follow up from Toxic does get returned. 2 versus 2 needs his next headshot on blocker. He sees him. Spray goes better for the CT. Sergus is out.
Nice.
8 to Fate. And a beautiful situation there recovered for the CT camp. Han left alone. 1 versus 1 actually. But no, he's going to run free. He's not going to give Sergus the time of day. What a round there from the backstab. That could not have been played better by Fate. Again, as you mentioned, they called it out. You could see the reaction as soon as they made their way to the A-bomb site. Down through on the pass, info on B, reaction towards top mid, easy.
And Patrick has done so much aggressive lurking out through Palace, round and round and round again. And Crazy have not been able to punish him for it. He pushes so far aggressively that they stack the B bomb site. He hears the footsteps of the T's escaping out from the apartments as soon as Sergus realizes the A bomb site's clear. Yes, he doesn't go down after time and's able to save onto this AWP. Oh, Ships, that's a missed jump going up, and that could have been the opening fight he was looking for.
And the teams are going to make their way out quickly because of it. They see that AWP take out 1
Nice.
and 2. Nice and efficient from Toxic. There's an AWP on short, though. Han's still looking for his way back in. The plant will be secured, though. 5-on-3 situation, and it looks like Flash is over. Shot going to miss out on the shoulder bait. Do Fate save? They've got a very hard buy back in this one with 1 more round to go in this half. I kind of agree with you there, Dweg.
It's just not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it going for even exit kills at this point. I'm surprised that they are. If they can pick up an AK, great. But that's another player going down, and you're right. You know, money-wise, they are on very little loss bonus, considering how many rounds that they've won. They might get, I'm thinking, 1,900 or 2,400 in the following round. Let's have a look what it is. It's even less. So, man, that was 1,400. And that just shows you the loss bonus was just not there for the Fate side. Holding on to 3 players would have meant so much, but unfortunately, they're not able to.
Really highlights the economy game here from Crazy. The fact that they're losing these rounds, but still forcing Fate into these situations which they have to go eco.
Yeah.
You know, in ordinary circumstances, winning that many rounds in a row would build up the economy to the point where you don't have to fall back on loss bonus. But Crazy doing a number on the byline here for Fate. The AWP and M4 will stay in, but it's an SMG and Mag 7. I don't even know what Nicky's got. It's probably a pistol. Patrick pushed up towards ramp as a blocker was a few rounds ago. This SMG hoping to get something out here from the smoke, but as it fades, nothing will be seen. Han's going to have a nice line on towards the T side setup.
He's just seeing if he can find an opening kill. The NWP is here for Wonderful on the T side, and will they line up? Look at the damage that he's done to the T side. Crazy. Well, they're down to 3 players. Wonderful is so low, and already so much information. Patrick spotted that bomb. They know. Absolute round should be over now for the Fate side. Crazy should not be able to go back into it. And well, there it is. 9-6. That is a very strong half coming out from Fate. They looked incredibly dominant. And I tell you what, yes, Crazy are going to be going over to that CT side, but I'm worried for them. I'm very worried indeed.
I'm not too fussed.
Okay.
Fate in general don't have a very strong T side here on Mirage. Even statistically based, you know, like obviously they're known as a T-sided team, Bulgarian CS and everything, but, you know, combine that with the fact that statistically Crazy score more rounds on the CT side. They have a much bigger CT to T balance. 53% win rate on CT rounds versus 41% on T rounds. If that's 41% on the T side, what does that say about CT? CR4ZY in with a real good chance, I feel like, here as they go to their CT half. You've got Toxic with the defuse and smoke. Flash smoke for Nicky with a P250 drop to one of his teammates. That's Blocker there with the raid boss. CR4ZY setting themselves up inside of the ramp position out towards mid. It's CR4ZY taking Blocker to start, realizing that they have got to fall back out because short is going to be the play. Fate standing by onto the aggression, smokes down, ship's going to move in with the block, going to get tapped up here. Patrick going to do some damage, get DemQ down to the 4 versus 4, making it 4 versus 3 as they overwhelm the B site, get the bomb plant.
Oh, 3 versus 3. This is certainly very doable coming out for the CR4ZY side, but they need to make sure they're getting these kills pretty thick and fast. I'm not sure where that kit is. Maybe dropped on towards the side, and I can see it just in front of Patrick, but lining up these USP shots. The man advantage now going the way into the Fate side. Patrick, a bit of an overextension, and with the CTs, they're running into the crosshairs, and well, into the 2 versus 2. A lot of damage is done. Look how low Psycho is, and Mulsurgus, last one left, and he's running out of time. This round is pretty much over. This is going to be double digits up for the Fate side, and this is what I was worried about, Jay, is the fact of, yes, statistically the CT side is strong for the CR4ZY side, but considering Fate had already put up so many rounds in that first half, getting to double digits, they've got the momentum to carry it forward.
And carry it forward they shall for now. The odds have shifted. They are well and truly to the favor of Fate at this stage, but CR4ZY, I don't think that's cause to count them out just yet. And if you do want to make a bet right now, then you can bet via our partners in LootBet. Again, you can get up to 10 free CSGO spins and up to €100 bonus on your deposit. Just click the banner under the Twitch channel to get involved here on this match and all the matches here for Malta Vibes. Galil's in, flashes over Han, and Patrick will try and make their way in aggressive. It's an eco round coming in from CR4ZY. They're going to try to get these rifles out early here. Stacking towards A, no information being given up to the setup here. Just spots out coming in from certain CTs across the board, and the Galiola blocker will start moving in. This could be interesting for the CT count if they can find those kills. Don't have to let those AKs get the 1v1s, and CR4ZY and Tops are going to do what they set out to do. Bomb drop to CT control, blocker gets one trade frag, but it's a man advantage for CR4ZY, and HP's falling, players are falling. CR4ZY are going to return an eco to Fates.
Oh my goodness. It's so frustrating, it really is. I mean, it's an eco. It's not even a force buy. And honestly, Jay, like, when this round started and I saw the eco, I was going to make a comment to say that for CR4ZY, we haven't seen, you know, them so successful on the upgrades like a team like Simon or Forza or a Hard Legion are. It seems like for a CIS team, they don't have the best success when it comes to the forces. And I liked the decision that it was just an eco. But the fact that they win that round is just unheard of. It is just ridiculous, and it's disappointing. It's embarrassing for Fate, and you've got to think after winning Pistol, you should never lose to an eco. Force buy, you can understand in the slightest, but not an eco, man.
That's going to knock Fate back a peg. That, I mean, certainly is going to throw up a bit of hurt, I think. The Bulgarian pride. Eagles in for ships, looking onto the sniper's nest. Patrick will move in alongside Blocker here to support his man. Out towards mid, the jump face. They catch something out here, but no CT aggression. They're going to be very careful about how they peek towards this. They have got an A set up. The mid control conceded. For Fate can't act with just control alone.
And I really hope that Psycho doesn't peek into this. He's already seen the information that they're playing a double play out towards this underpass position, trying to see some info in through window room. And, well, the walk's actually coming forward to allow Blocker to get into this position.
40 seconds. Blocker going to move in. Is the timing going to be against him? Psycho seen, taken down. Not expecting a player to be so close. And M4 now getting recovered here. Two players to either side. Wonderful's going to contest and try and keep control. It's Toxic getting ships over towards the market area. Serger's getting blocker as well, swinging in for his second kill. Not quite going to happen. And the Orps there drops that bomb, turns it to the man advantage as they try and frag back here. Players coming in from the connector area. And this bomb can't go down so easy. Swing in as Han goes falling, and Patrick also goes down the same. So Force Spy dealt with. Crazy going to make their way within at least one of the lead of Fate, and they may very well be able to contest for evens.
And I'll tell you what, after winning the pistol round, Fate were in a really good position in terms of economy game, in terms of momentum, but that's completely shifted after losing that force buy in the second round. Or the, anti-eco that wasn't even a force buy. Now we're looking at the scoreboard. Fate have got no money. They're going to be up in a one-round deficit off the fact that Crazy win out this 9th. We really could have a match on our hands here. Again, this is the third map in a best of 3 where the winner will go to the playoffs and the loser will not, Jay.
Both teams teetering on the edge here. Face to have an advantage for the moment. That may be about to change. For now, Psycho, DemQ cleaning up mid position. 3 kills for Psycho, 2 for them. And now a buy for Fates. One buy that they need to make work for their favor. They absolutely need to keep this lead above Crazy, because if they lose this round, there's a more than likely chance that they're going to lose control of the lead. Given the situation, given the circumstances, given the economy game. AKs in, AWPs, M4s. Straight out to the mid position for Patrick and Psycho. Orp also in for Wonderful, looking for a frag. He's going to fall back, but he does get the kill on Patrick.
And honestly, the AK probably had the better advantage there, considering the fact that Waterfall was moving back into repositioning. But that's a massive advantage. And I'll tell you what, we haven't seen the best of performances on Mirage coming out from Wonderful, but this is big so far. But it gets traded back into a 4-on-4, and with the T's out with control in window room, they've got a lot of options. They can split in through market to B, they can split out through the A bomb side. And what is DemQ doing? Like, they know that they've taken window control, and he's not even faced towards that angle.
Berg is suddenly pretty isolated from his teammates. Oh, the timing. Toxic's going to get taken out towards the B bomb site, though. It's Han making his way in, dropping Sergey's next up, and they're giving up these 1v1s to the T side camp. Orp in for Wonderful. Does catch blocker for one good frag, but now they can push the bomb into B. They know exactly where this Orp is at. Ship's going to try to look for the exit. Go back from Wonderful. 3 kills to his name. They can't land any more than that. The T's have vacated positions here on the A bomb site. And I don't think he wants to go for a retake. I mean, he's got a kit, 2 flashes and an incendiary, but down towards his mid position, seen now by the AK, tapped and sprayed, 15 HP. Surely he should have no way back out from here.
Oh, the molly. Unfortunately, Han's already rotated off, and yeah, you're right. I mean, now it's pretty much all done. If he saves onto this AWP, then good for him, but really, it's not going to make the biggest amount of impact considering how much economy is already there for the Crazy side. It would have been a little bit more vital to take down someone like Han, considering that the T's have just got no money. But Fate, they are getting closer and closer. Crazy have at least established a bit of a comeback, but the thing is, even if Crazy, they win 2 rounds and then it's like a couple from Fate and then Crazy win 3 and then it's 1 from Fate, they're still in the lead and they only need 5 more rounds. So you've got to think for Fate, if they can get on top of this economy game, they can start to run away with it.
Double Orps up for Crazy on the rebuy. Both economies buying down in full. Fuses out. Orp for DemQ. Missing his shot, missing his frag. Missing his chance to open things up, but that may be fine. Patrick, inches away from falling down to the Orpa. It's Fate do set themselves up for what looks to be a B play. No split in as of right now, but they can execute out of the apartments just fine.
They just need to make sure that they're forcing this Orp off the angle, and that flash actually might be able to do the job. Straight away, DemQ realizes he can't continue playing that aggressively. And what looked to be Fate trying to go for a B-side execution, now they want to try and take some mid control. And they found a lot of success, especially in that last round with Blocker getting aggressive up through window. And they might try and go for a similar kind of strat again.
48 seconds and Fate into mid position. Psycho unable to peek towards it. He does reposition to the other side, though, of the sniper's nest. If that smoke clears, Patch is going to be in a lot of trouble. Boost up for him. Psycho's ready for it. Utility out. Man down. Opening start here for the CT side. Psycho burning. Still looks for his frag. Sees where that bomb's going, and now he can call it out to his teammate Sergis. Swings in. Dealt with. Ships gets a kill on Toxic as well. Orb of Wonderful. Been so good so far with the Orb of Dem-Q on the short position. Nikki going to go for a plant. Will Wonderful try for the wall bang? No, he will not. He will concede us, but Nikki tagged low still. 6 HP. Blocker on a backstab. Wonderful has no idea it's coming in, and that's round over for Fate. 12-9 for the T side.
And I think this is crazy done, honestly. I don't see there being a way they can come back into it now. They just don't have enough rounds to work with. They don't have the economy line. Yes, they've got a saved AWP coming in from Dem-Q. And Fate, look, it hasn't been the cleanest of best of threes. It certainly has not even been the cleanest of rounds on Mirage, but they're the ones in the driving seat. They're the ones up 12 rounds. And you've got to think for Crazy, how do they bring this back? They can't even really force, I would say. This is just going to be a very light upgrade to just buy around this AWP.
And this buy-up from Crazy, I mean, it's going to look so dreadful.
Ooh.
I mean, Dem-Q does find that opening kill, at least with the AWP saved. Firing on the corpse of his opponent, of course, not realizing that he's already dead. But they know where that AWP is. The stack in from the CTs, of course, aggression coming in towards Palace. A little bit of aggression out from the apartments area. Ship's going to make his way in and deal with Toxic, and that's basically B-side open from here. Quick rotations from Dem-Q. May very well be able to find his way on with another good frag, and he's expecting more T-side players out here. Sergis is way past the point of being able to hold a defensive, though he's going to have to get this backstab together. The AWP faced in by Ships knows that it's probably going to be a fake call. Does not get the kill on his own right, so they quickly realize there's no one out here in the apartments. It's going to be an A play. Psycho could catch off the AK. Good kill from Wonderful with the Deagle again, coming back to a 3 versus 3. Sergis found an AK. Oh no, Han's going to go down. 3 on 2 now. Crazy still with a chance here. The backstabs have worked pretty great for them. As Ships goes down, Nicky's left alone at 1 versus 3. Don't tell me they're going to win another eco here, Crazy. Fate. Another embarrassing round if they do. The AK's got cross-locked. Nicky's known. Even if he gets this bomb plant, how is he going to fend off a 1 versus 3?
Oh, this is tough. This is really tough coming out from Nicky. 1 versus 3. Let's see what he can do. Bomb getting planted over this A bomb site, and he needs to try and isolate some of these 1 versus 1s. He's seen the player out towards the jungle position, out towards connector. Wonderful's going to be able to peek. Oh, but Nicky can't follow up on the ramp player. As Sergis takes him down, and you're right, Jay. You know, it's embarrassing that they're losing to these eco rounds. That was a single AWP and just upgraded pistols. And it seems like for Fate, they don't have trouble in the gun rounds. But the ecos, it seems like, I don't know what goes on there. Like, I can understand why they didn't rotate to B, considering the fact that the A players are stacked up in ramp and Ships has made his way out from B. It's too long of a rotation to hold off for Ships at B to allow the teammates to arrive. But you've just got to think, like, come on. You can't be losing to rounds like that.
That forces Nico back on Fate once again here. Guys.
Hello.
Have they all had a simultaneous DC?
One of them's moving. Oh, 2 of them's moving. 3 of them aren't. Oh, there they are. They're back.
Okay. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but... It's been a round restart. Obviously, Fate have had a number of technical issues over the course of the day, so...
Did they want to take a tactical? Is that what it was? Maybe they called the tactical and it didn't quite like come through or something?
I don't know. I mean... At this stage, I wouldn't expect any more than a eco buy up here. So, I mean, the tactical may have been better saved for the next round. We have the rifles. Either way, it did say tactical on the board, so I'm just going to assume it was a tactical pause. But CZs, cross 3 players, Nicky and Han, Deagle, and a Glock. So utility here for what seems to be a pistol execution. Looking onto the B bomb site here to get a bomb plant, bolster the buy. But that may be the best that Fate have here. This should not do much against Crazy.
It really shouldn't. A bomb plant would even be pretty successful. And certainly with the amount of utility they have, you can certainly expect that they'll at least get a kill. One would be nice. A bomb plant would be nicer. Now, even for the B site players, they've actually used a fair bit of utility of Toxic and Wonderful. Running down the clock, Fate, just seeing if they can kind of bait out any utility from the cities just off time alone. Nicky's just going to sell at least something from Underpass, but it's going to be a B-site commitment.
Mid control coming out from 2 more, actually. They'll smoke out, counter flash in. The smokes come out towards the B bomb site here. Fate going to last second call in for a rotation towards A, perhaps? Great manic from Sergis, does manage to get ships down. Patrick going to get dealt with as they, in the end, do commit to the B-bomb site, so I guess I read that one wrong. Han with the bomb out here, seen towards the apartments, bursting from Toxic, drops one towards short, looks for Han there, drops him in the end. Nice, simple 3k for him. And Crazy cleaning house, no damage done in terms of the kills and in terms of the economy, Bane. And... oh, we're going to go for another tech pause, seems like we're not going to. The AK's coming out now for Fate. Let's see if they can defend their lead.
Oh wow, this is down to the wire, and honestly, I've got to give mad respect to the players. Like both in Bulgaria and Ukraine, it's passing 3 in the morning. It's certainly been a long day. You know, we've had technical issues, we've had long matches, and they're digging deep. Around 24, this could honestly dictate who's going to come ahead in this last map of the series. This is quick out from the A bomb side, and for Crazy, are they ready for the aggression? It seems like they are.
5 versus 3, Crazy forced to back off. Sergis at the edge of the smoke is going to be forced to remain there. We'll spray blindly on towards Han, but Han wants to kill that bomb plant. So, Fate up against the retake of Crazy. Kill against Psycho there to the backstab. Nicky's on 7 HP. He's going to be susceptible. As Sergis takes out Ship, suddenly this becomes a lot more difficult. 4 versus 2. AK on site. Spray through for Han. Gets down 1 kill. Looks towards Ticket Booth, but does not scope on the AWP. 1 versus 3 now for Nicky. On from short here. Could take down a player, but the fuse being stuck. Can't get there in time. And Crazy will be able to equalize against Fate, a very fast player that was shut down effectively by the CT defensive. 12-12. We're all evened up.
I really just don't know which way this game's going to go. We see moments where you think, okay, you know, Fate, they've got what it takes to close it out, and then just Crazy respond in an unreal manner. This is going to be them taking the lead. And I tell you what, Jay, it would not be a series without a down-to-the-wire best-of-3 last map. I mean, it's just what happens. What happens at Malta Vibes.
Yeah. Indeed it does. Oh, Nicky. First casualty for the T side. That's the AK, the only rifle being dropped already. Orb scoping, but wonderful catches. Not quite the second player, missing out on Han. So Orb picked up to a 3 versus 3. Sergis having a bit of trouble dealing with the T-side players on site. We'll have to concede that bomb plant. Can't get Patrick as he exits out the edge of the smoke. 2 rifles to gain here for Fate. They've got Kevlar as well, actually. This is doable. 3 versus 2 still. Flashes in. Oh, that blind spray almost got the kill, but not to be. Trade back from Han. Bomb being stuck now. Fire off against DemQ, but missing his shots, therefore can't get to the bomb diffuser, and therefore can't get the round. But Fate doing well enough with that buy up there. The bomb plant, 3 casualties. All covered there for Han. As Crazy to take the lead, Fate could limit the buy going into future rounds.
And honestly, that's a pretty good round considering the fact that, Nikki had an AK and the rest of them were just on upgraded pistols. The fact they get a bomb plant, they get 3 big kills. This certainly could limit the economy. I mean, for Crazy, we're seeing a good streak of rounds, 4 in a row from them. The economy on some players is strong, not so much on others. As we get in to the dark days of the last map, and oh my goodness, this is just such a great opening coming out for Crazy. So much damage being found. Ships goes down, Patrick goes down. It's a 5-on-3, and you've got to think for Crazy, this has to be a 14th.
I mean, with kills coming in that quickly, you have very little reason to doubt it. But Faye are gonna go once again passive and try find another way to find a trade back. Minute and 10 as the AK faces CR4ZY to the ramp position. The flashbang on the AWPC, missing his shot. Spray so awkward from CR4ZY though, so unable to capitalize on it. Sees where both of those players were. They have also seen the bomb there as well. 3 CTs going to rotate off of B, 2 already there towards the A ramp position, or A stairs position. And they're going to go back. Fate are going to reconsider the decision to go to A. They may even hit towards B.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's risky because, if any of the CTs pushed up aggressively out through the apartments or through mid, they could shut this round down considering how little the time is. This is a tough call to make from Fate considering the fact they had the map presence over towards ramp and they're going to try and split into this B bomb site. They only need to deal with a single defender here.
Toxic with the M4, 3 players to round around the corner, 20 seconds, they're going to line up. He can't get his kills. The MQ will trade back on Nikki, 3 versus 2. 15 seconds incendiary into the bomb site. Plant should be secure. Blocker's going to burn quite an amount, 10 HP. Han gets us to 2v2. Molotovs to return back from Blocker. Collateral tag to Wonderful as Psycho goes down. And they recover the worst of situations. Fates. 13 all. Unlucky numbers for everybody here. It's Crazy. Everything to play with, but somehow still losing the round.
I can't believe they win that. The fact that they are toxic at B, they had the quick rotator coming out from DemQ. The fact that they line up for Han, the first kill and the tag on the collateral on the second. Oh. You'd have to think that the players are going to have a heart attack at this moment. 13-13. Now, I'm looking at the money line, and I'm thinking for Crazy, they lose this round. They're going to give 14 up for Fate, and they're going to have to eco. That's going to give them 15. Now, really, if Fate lose, they're not going to be completely reset, Jay, considering the fact the Blocker's got a fair bit of money. Han's got a bit. I suppose someone's going to drop over Ships a rifle. And honestly, that's what it comes down to a lot of the time. When you get to round 25 plus, it comes down to the economy game most of the time of who wins out the map.
A technical pause being called here. Very quickly going to be over and done with. Not sure the nature of said technical pause, but doesn't matter at the end of the day. Both teams are happy to continue. We'll see the rifles coming out for both sides again. Orb in for Wonderful and for Han. Wonderful being a little bit quiet in this map. It's CR4ZY is the man that's standing up the most. Crazy need to recover this. If they lose this round, they will be looking at a match point for Fate here in the group stage in this best of 3. Han tagged up early looking for that opening kill, so that's a good start for Crazy. It's damage they won't be fully aware of, and certainly no kills to start things off.
Oh, look at the play out from mid. The crossfire being established. This is very damn aggressive, and we haven't seen this kind of a play coming out from Crazy before. I'm not sure if Fate are going to be ready for this. A crossfiring set with one another. Psycho looking towards top mid, and his teammate to the underpass position.
They have no idea. They are not suspecting this whatsoever. They've smoked out the sniper's nest. Expected them to be down there towards the top of mid. M4 standing by for Mars, gets nothing. That's 2 picks found, so you're wrong. Fate, so ready for it. So was I wrong, apparently. CR4ZY finds 1 trade back for the CT forces and not checking the lower portion of smoke. Ships will get him down. Wonderful finds a trade, but it's now going to be left to Toxic here on the B side defensive. Back line here at the market entrance. Molotovs go out. He's waiting and baiting and hoping for the one to make his way out towards him. Takes out Nikki. Bomb parts passed over, and Han can get the swing and the kill. All too wonderful for a 3K clutch. Spurps in, takes the flick, misses its shot, refaces towards the window area. Trying to look onto the bomb site as well. Smokes are up, and Wonderful's not seeing anything.
Yeah.
No kit, no utility. He's out of there. And Fates will get to 14, reclaim the lead above CR4ZY, and again, a round that they couldn't have afforded to lose there on the CT side.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. I mean, the fact is that for CR4ZY, they try something new. They try something very new. They have a set piece or like a crossfire being established towards top mid, and well, the entry's just so damn sharp from Fate. Man, oh man. I'm looking at the buy now and I'm thinking they're gonna have to half buy up the back of this safety in AWP. It's not great. They can't force. They absolutely can't force here. And CR4ZY, they'll be playing for OT. This is so rough.
Quite a heavy buy, actually. Toxic buying down to $150. They're forcing it, actually.
What? Oh, please no. I don't like this. I think this is just... They lose this, they're done. Like, they're absolutely done if they lose this. And I think this is the wrong call.
Yeah, it is the wrong call. 5-7's out. Flashes over, T-side players straight up and out into the short position. SMG spray from DemQ does damage, no kills. The Deagle from Toxic though can get blocker and hold the phone. CR4ZY have won better rounds with less equipment. 5 versus 3 situation. Deagle AWP gets Nikki as well. They've made their way in towards A. CR4ZY shuts down Patrick. 1 versus 5. It's happened again, Dwayne. It has happened again.
Why does it always happen to Fate, man? It's so frustrating. It's 3 times this map alone. They've been eco'd. Oh, come on, guys. Why can they not win against eco 4 spies? I can't believe CR4ZY win that. I mean, they know better than us. They know that Fate cannot play against ecos. And, well, you got to look at to round number 29 and you think this buy is broken for Fate. A MAC-10, a Galil, and there's double AWPs on the CT side.
Apartment set up for Fate. AWP in for Han, and how the tables have turned. The exact same situation for CR4ZY now applied to the economy of the T side. Nades up. Smokes in. Stop the T's from making the aggression here towards the B side execution. Only 2 players to defend against it. Got the AKs on both of them. Nade up, ready to receive him. MAC-10 for Nikki. Going to be the entry player to get info, call it out to his teammates, and then allow the execution to fall in line. On the minute marker, the utility should come through. Flashbangs out, Molotov's 5 seconds early instead. Toxic in the back line is going to wait here, passive. Wait for one player to get aggressive. Nikki going to get spotted out. Toxic will take him down. Up there for DemQ. Gets Patrick to the 5 versus 3. And Psycho at the end of the smoke, hearing them come forward. Chips gets Toxic, but not before blocker falls. 2 players left for Fate. Fast hit out, and it may still go awry, but they've clutched 2v3s. And they've got a 2 versus 4, now a 1 versus 3. Psycho drops Han and drops Ships. Map match and group stage point for CR4ZY, and the buy for Fate will look just as rough as the CTs did in the last round.
Oh man, I'm mixed emotions. I really have got mixed emotions at the moment. And you got to think, you know, Fate pretty much done at this point. 15 of 4. Or 15 to 14, I should say.
You did say that about CR4ZY a few rounds ago.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is that Fate haven't looked dominant on these eco rounds and these 4 spies. It's honestly been CR4ZY, the ones that have, you know, like you said, turned the tables on rounds that really they should not be able to win. And you've got to think, for the Fate side, you know, put this match aside, going forward, they're in a slump at the moment. They need to work on so much. They honestly do. Like, yes, you can make the consideration they've got ships as a stand-in, but the fact that they have lost 3 eco/force buy rounds on the last map of a best of 3 that's a decider into the playoffs, you can't be making mistakes like that in such an important match. And, well, wonderful. I mean, we haven't quite seen the full finesse, I would say, on a map like Mirage that we did on Train, but he's been holding on to his own. You know, he's been middle of the pack in terms of kills. He's been relatively consistent, and he's certainly been able to shine when necessary. Last round, Jay, of regulation.
One final tech pause to send us off with here, Dwayne.
Yeah! That's the way we like it.
Just one more for the road.
Yeah, sorry, boys. Internet's out. Can we play this match tomorrow?
No. No. DQ. Get out of here.
I mean, you got to make sure if you got any issues, especially when you're up to round number 30, you got to make sure that they're ironed out. So that's probably why we've just got a bit of an extended technical pause, try and figure out exactly what the issue is and see if we can get it resolved in time. But what a series, man. I mean, it started, what, 4 hours ago? 3 hours and 50 minutes ago, actually, this series started, apparently.
That is very specific, Dwayne.
Well, I'm having a look at HLTV and it said the map started, or the match started at 10:35 CEST. So, exactly 3 hours, 50 minutes. If that little time is correct. But the money line, it doesn't look like it's correct for Fate, but it is. They don't have any of it.
No, Mac 10s are the best weapons they have for this buy.
Here we go.
And given the fact that CR4ZY have pulled off some stupid force buy rounds, I am not going to count Fate out this one just yet. Is it a rush? It's a B rush from Fate. Nades up for DemQ doing a ton of damage. They're going to put all their chips into one basket and wonderful. And DemQ take those chips and throw them on the ground. 5 versus 3, making it 2, making it 1, making it none. 16-14, CR4ZY 2-1 Fate here in the group stage to make their way up and through to the playoffs.
Oh man, that's huge. That is absolutely big from coming out from CR4ZY. And look, you know,